Doggett this morning, welcoming you to the final home telecast of our 1979 spring training session here in Florida. The Dodgers today taking on the Atlanta Braves. For the Dodgers, they'll be out to seek and stop a two-game losing string, the first time this spring that they've lost as many as two in a row. However, that's a little misleading. The regulars did not play most of the way in the last two games which the Dodgers have participated in here in Florida. Today, the Dodgers will send Bert Hooton to the mound against Atlanta. Hooton has been perfect so far this spring. In 11 innings of pitching, Bert has not allowed a run. And today he will be opposed by right-hander Frank LaCourte of Atlanta. And it's a very big day for LaCourte because he's fighting for a job. He has not looked good in his three previous outings this spring. Bobby Cox's Braves are playing very well so far. They've won 10 of their first 16 games. The Dodgers, on the other hand, are 9-5. The Dodgers sent half of their regulars to West Palm Beach a couple of days ago and lost 5-4 to Atlanta. And today it'll be two right-handers who get the call, Bert Hooton for the Dodgers and Frank LaCourte for Atlanta. Reggie Smith and Rick Mundy will not be in the starting lineup today because of minor ailments, and they'll be replaced by Von Joshua and Gary Thomason. Atlanta 10-6 on the spring. The Dodgers are 9-5. Stay tuned now for exciting Dodger baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers going against the Atlanta Braves. The Dodger pregame show has been brought to you by the McDonald's Operators Association of Southern California, where you can enjoy a delicious hot breakfast at a great price and still be on time for work or play. And by PSA. You can now catch PSA's Smile to Nevada and soon to Phoenix, Arizona.
Dodger Baseball is brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to see the awesome 280ZX, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. By California Federal Savings. You're better off in California. California Federal Savings and Loan Association. By your neighborhood Union 76 dealers, who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. And by Farmer John, the only packer who brings Eastern corn-fed porkers out here live and dresses the meat fresh right here locally. For pork and pork products at their freshest, Farmer John.
Today's game comes to you from Vero Beach, Florida, Dodger Town, where the Dodgers face the Atlanta Braves. This is Ross Porter speaking for Jerry Doggett and Vin Scully. And hello, everybody, from Dodger Town. Jerry and I are here today for the Dodgers' final Sunday meeting at home as they get on with the exhibition slate. Only 4 games to go, including one today, and all 4 will be played here at Holman Stadium. Today, the Dodgers and the Atlanta Braves for the second time within a week, and the Dodgers trying to win their 10th game to go with 5 losses. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. The Atlanta Braves of Bobby Cox will have on the field today probably the 9 that will go on opening day, with the exception of the starting pitcher, who figures to be Phil Niekro when the regular season gets underway. Jerry Royster will be at shortstop leading off. Glenn Hubbard at second base. Gary Matthews in right field. Jeff Burrows, the cleanup hitter, in left field. Mike Lum, back with Atlanta, will be at first base. Dale Murphy will do the catching. Barry Bonnell will be in center field. Mike Maha will be the third baseman, since Bob Horner still has not reported to the Braves training camp. And on the mound today, right-hander Frank LaCourte, who is 0-2 this spring with a high ERA of over 7. The Dodgers will go this way this afternoon. Davey Lopes will lead off at second base. Bill Russell will be at shortstop. Gary Thomason will play center field today and bat third. Steve Garvey will be at first base. Ron Cey at third. Dusty Baker in left field. Von Joshua will be in right field. Joe Ferguson will do the catching. And Bert Hooton, who has not allowed a run yet in Florida this spring, Bert Hooton will do the pitching. Bert is 2-0 and in 11 innings, he's allowed only 4 hits. The Dodgers are without Reggie Smith and Rick Monday this afternoon. Smith has a Charlie horse in his left leg. Monday a pulled hamstring muscle. Both are minor injuries, and they should play here in Florida before the team goes home on Wednesday night. It's 360 feet down the foul lines here at Holman Stadium, 410 feet to center field. Defensively, the Dodgers look this way today. Steve Garvey will be at first base. Davey Lopes at second. Bill Russell playing shortstop. Ron Cey at third. Dusty Baker is in left field. Gary Thomason in center. Von Joshua in right. Joe Ferguson, who has been alternating daily with Steve Yeager behind the plate, gets the duty this afternoon. And on the mound, 29-year-old right-hander Bert Hooton. Unbeaten this spring and unscored upon in 2 outings. Hooton is scheduled to pitch the opening game of the Freeway Series against the Angels Friday night at Dodger Stadium. He is expected to draw Dave Frost of the Halos in the 7:30 game. Saturday night at 7 o'clock, Don Sutton will go for the Dodgers and Frank Tanana for the Angels. And then next Sunday afternoon in Anaheim at 1, Andy Messersmith for the Dodgers and Chris Knapp for California. Hooton is 7-6 lifetime against Atlanta. Last year, Bert was 1-2. He made 3 starts against the Braves. He did not have a complete game. And he had a high ERA for him of 4. Jerry Royster, who used to be with the Dodgers, leads off. Royster now at shortstop after spending much of his career as a second baseman. And the first pitch is in for a called strike to Royster. The Bird, as he's known by his friends, hitting .206 this spring. Strike 2. One and 2. Royster has signed a 1-year contract for this season. They're the coaches for Atlanta. And a foul ball out of play. Alex Grammas, the new coach of the Braves, down at third base, and Tommy Aaron, Hank's brother, over at first. Jim Thompson umpiring behind the plate. Jack Hanawalt is at first. Bill Watkey's at second. And Evan Soash is at third. Out of play, still 1 and 2. Knuckle curve low, 2 and 2 to Royster. On deck, second baseman Glenn Hubbard. Loop to left center and falling for a base hit for Royster. So the leadoff man is aboard.
Number 17, second baseman
Glenn Hubbard is hitting .308 in the spring. Hubbard had an outstanding year at Richmond last year where he batted .336. The Braves called him up late of the season, and he got into 44 games with them, hitting .258. Pitch out, but nothing going. The Dodgers made some personnel moves today and an important announcement regarding some of their pitchers. Driven to left field and deep. Baker going back. has room and makes the play. Royster standing on second base. They might double him. Russell Soto Garvey, double play. Royster was fooled. I think he thought the ball was over Baker's head. And when Dusty made the catch, Jerry had taken a step around second base. He had to go back and touch the bag. And the relay by way of Russell nailed him.
Right fielder, number 36, Gary Matthews.
Whoops. Got to touch it. Now I got to get back. And the bird didn't get there. That's one bird who's not having such a good weekend, unlike the basketball player at Indiana State. So 2 away very quickly, and Gary Matthews takes one low. Matthews, a Southern California product. Gary hitting .250 in the spring. He lines one to Russell's left for a base hit. So the Braves have had 2 singles off Hooten in the first inning. But thanks to the double play, Bird is not in trouble.
Left fielder, number 7, Jeff Burrows.
Jeff Burrows, coming off a great year with Atlanta. Jeff led the National League in batting most of the season. When the year was over, he was hitting .301. He had 23 homers, 77 runs batted in. Knuckle curve for a strike. The Dodgers announced late this morning that pitchers Bob Welch, Rick Rhoden, and Terry Forster will not accompany the club west on Wednesday night. They're going to stay in Florida for maybe an extra week. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Forster, Rhoden, and Welch have experienced arm problems. You know all about Forster. He had the off-season surgery to remove the bone chips. Terry threw batting practice yesterday, and he reported no pain. That was an encouraging sign. Rhoden tested his arm on Thursday, and Welch is going to go tomorrow in a camp game. Pitches high to Burrows, 2-1. So Forster, Rhoden, and Welch will not be with the club for the Freeway Series. After the Freeway Series, the Dodgers have games in Arizona a week from tomorrow night against the Giants in Phoenix, and a week from Tuesday against the Cubs at Mesa. Matthews goes, and Burrows swings and misses. Ferguson throws a bad one. Matthews gets up, and he'll move over to third base. So a stolen base for Gary Matthews and an error on Joe Ferguson. But still no score. Ferguson's throw on the third base side of the bag. Lopes tried to short hop it, and it kangarooed over his head. Two out, a runner at third. Burrows waiting, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeff didn't check into training camp until the 7th of March. His wife, Debbie, is expecting the couple's first child any day now, so Jeff was allowed to stay with her. Pitch taken high, 3-2. Darrell Thomas is still out. He hurt his right shoulder diving back to third base earlier in the week, and he hasn't played. Bounce foul behind the plate, still 3-2 to Burrows. So the Dodgers have more than the usual aches and pains. And, of course, the serious injury to watch is the one, Terry Forster. Forster is on the 21-day disabled list. The Dodgers put him on there this week. He would come off of it about a week into the regular season. There's ball 4 to Burrows. So despite 2 singles and a walk in the inning, Hooten has really only gotten 1 man out. That was Hubbard on the deep drive to left. The Braves have not broken through to score. First and third, 2 out, and here's Mike Lum, who turned down a $1 million 3-year contract to play in Japan to come back to Atlanta. Lum, the former Cincinnati First baseman and outfielder bounces it foul. It looks like Lum is going to be the opening day first baseman for the Braves. Base hit, center field. Matthews scores to give the Braves the lead. Burrows is going to third, and the throw over there is not in time. So the Braves punching holes in Bert Hooton in the first inning, and they finally get a run. That'll bring up catcher Dale Murphy. Murphy was originally a catcher. The Braves made a first baseman out of him last year.
Catcher, number 3.
And now with Biff Pocoroba out after surgery, they have moved Murphy back behind the plate. 1-0 Atlanta in the first inning. Runners at the corners. And there's a called strike. Hooton has just allowed his first run in 3 spring training games. The Braves have 3 singles and a walk here in the first inning. Hooton and the Dodgers are fortunate that the advantage of the Braves is not greater. Another base hit. Burrows scores to make it 2-0 Atlanta, and Lum will hold on at second base. So Hooton didn't fool anyone. Lum and Murphy have the RBI singles, and now here is Barry Bonnell. Roland Office was originally penciled into Bobby Cox's starting lineup, but just before game time, Office was scratched and Barry Bonnell is in there. They say that Bonnell has probably had the best spring of anybody in camp for the Braves. He's hitting .308. Two-0 Braves in the first inning. If you've been with us the last 2 Sundays here on Channel 11, you'll recall the Dodgers got only 1 run in each of those games against Houston and Montreal. And they're down by 2 today in the first inning. Foul out of play. 1-1 to Barry Bonnell. Mike Lum at second. Dale Murphy at first. 2 out first inning, 2-0 Atlanta. Up and in, 2 balls and a strike to Barry Bonnell. Bonnell had the great rookie year 2 years ago. He had .300. Last year, he had a disappointing season, batted just .240. And during the offseason, he was considered trade bait, as was Roland Office. They have vied all spring for the center field job. There's ball 3 inside. 3-1. It could be that Bobby Cox will platoon them since Office is a left-handed hitter. Popped up. Ferguson goes behind the umpire Thompson. He's got a play and puts it away. The Braves get 2 runs on 4 hits and leave 2. And at the end of a half an inning, Atlanta 2. And the Dodgers coming up to face Frank LaCourte for the first time.
For the Braves, 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left.
One reason won it in 6 games.
The Braves got 2 in the top of the first. Now look at them defensively before the Dodgers come up. Mike Lum will be at first base this afternoon.
Attention, the parents of Robbie Smith. Robbie knows where he is. He's with us, but he doesn't know where you are.
Atlanta's second baseman is Glenn Hubbard. Jerry Royster's at shortstop. And Mike Maha's the third baseman. In the outfield, Jeff Burrows is in left. Barry Bonnell in center. And Gary Matthews in right. Dale Murphy behind the plate. And on the mound, right-hander Frank LaCourte.
Leading off for the Dodgers, second baseman, number 15, Davy Lopes.
Davy Lopes will lead off for the Dodgers. He'll be followed by Bill Russell and Gary Thomason. Good backhand play by Glenn Hubbard, but he can't get Lopes. Sensational stop on a smash up the middle by Davy. But Hubbard's throw pulled Lum off the bag. Infield hit for Lopes, who started the day hitting .306.
Russell.
So an infield hit for Lopes, and here is Russell. Billy hitting .324 in Florida. Fouled out of play. This is an important outing for LaCourte. Frank, who is from Gilroy, California, has had arm problems the last couple of years, and he has been unimpressive in all 3 of his games this spring. 0-2. LaCourte, noted for his fastball. Last year, Frank overcame arm problems to post a 6-7 record at Richmond and won 3 games for that team in the playoffs. Double play opportunity for the Braves, but they don't turn it. Lopes upended Hubbard. It was at second base in West Palm Beach on Thursday that Hubbard
Center fielder, number 9,
was
Jerry
submarined
Thomas.
by Reggie Smith breaking up a double play, and Reggie came out of it the worst of the 2 because he received a Charlie horse and has kept him out ever since. So Russell forces Lopes. 1 out in the first inning, and here's Gary Thomason. Thomason had 4 hits against the Braves in that earlier game, and the 5th time he lined one to the shortstop. 2-0 Atlanta, bottom of the first. Outside, ball 2. Thomason starts today hitting .263. Gary, after going 4 for 5 in his previous game, came back with an RBI double yesterday against the Expos at Daytona Beach. He's been hitting the ball sharply most of the spring. LaCourte misses ball 3, 3-0. We're now told that Bobby Welch, Rick Rhoden, and Terry Forster will rejoin the Dodgers in Los Angeles on April the 4th. Welch and Rhoden will each pitch in 3 camp games, and with Forster, it's a day-to-day proposition. There is ball 4, and Thomason draws a walk. Two on, 1 out, and here's Steve Garvey. Garvey hitting .364 in exhibition play.
Steve Garvey.
He and Russell lead the Dodgers in hits in Florida with 12 apiece. Steve with 1 home run. That came against the Mets at St. Petersburg on Wednesday. Fastball in the inside corner for a strike. LaCourte credits Johnny Sain, the former Brave star, with teaching him the off-speed pitch and helping his control. Off Royster, rolling to left field. Russell will score. Thomason goes to third. Wide throw. Garvey holds on at first, and it's 2-1 Atlanta. We'll wait and see how they score it. The ball was hit sharply, and Royster had to go a long way, as you note, to get there. And then it kicked up and hit him off the glove and ricocheted into left field. Russell scores. Thomason goes from first to third. Garvey aboard, and here's Ron Cey. Cey's having a tough spring down here. He's 4 for 24. And LaCourte with the breaking ball jumps ahead of him 0-1. 2-1 Braves in the bottom of the first. Up and in. 1-1. Frank LaCourte. He's 27. Broken bat. Looper to the stands. 1-2 to Say. He'll have to get some new lumber. The Dodgers today made some other personnel moves. They outrighted outfielder Joe Simpson to Albuquerque. They also optioned catcher Mike Scioscia, pitchers Dave Stewart, Ted Power, and Mike Tennant to the Dukes, as well as first baseman Kelly Snyder, and outfielders Rudy Law and Myron White go to Albuquerque. Just missed with the breaking ball. LaCourte thought he got it. 2-2 to Ron Cey. So those moves today place the Dodger roster at 30. They've got to get down to 25 by opening day, April 5th, when they take on the Padres at Dodger Stadium. Fastball is inside, 3-2. LaCourte looking down to Jim Thompson in bewilderment. 1 out, bottom of the first, 2-1 Atlanta. Let's see if Garvey goes with the pitch from first base. He does. Strike 3 called, so LaCourte got one of the 3 he wanted, and Cey becomes the second out of the inning. Garvey with a stolen base. Murphy didn't even bother to throw. For Garvey, that is his 6th stolen base of the spring. 6 steals in 11 games. Now here's Dusty Baker, who's hitting .212. Garvey is credited for a single, and he'll get the RBI earlier in this inning. Baker pops it up in foul territory. The wind takes it away, and trying his best for it is Mike Maha, and the ball falls. Maha wound up almost directly behind home plate, and the crowd applauds his efforts. Murphy had a better shot at it, but Maha called him off. And Mike kept chugging, left his feet, and still didn't get it. So Baker gets a little assist from the wind on that one, and he's still up there. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Dodgers with 2 runners in scoring position, looking for the base hit that could give them the lead. LaCourte working out of a stretch. Good fastball. 1-2 to Baker. Thomason at third, Garvey at second. The 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Might have chased ball 2. The Dodgers get a run back on 2 hits and leave 2. And at the end of 1 in Vero Beach, Braves 2, Dodgers 1.
For the Dodgers, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left.
After an inning at Dodgertown, it's the Braves 2 and the Dodgers 1.
Third baseman, Mike Maha.
Atlanta coming up with 4 hits off Bert Hooton in the first inning. And now, Mike Maha, Frank LaCourte, and Jerry Royster will take their turns at the plate in the second. Maha out of Rice University slugs 1 foul down the left field line. With Bob Horner holding out, Maha, Rod Gilbreth, and Jerry Maddox have been staging a battle for the third base spot on the Braves. Strike 2, 0-2. Maha has a compact swing, which the Braves like a lot. And probably he is the favorite to be there at third base on opening day. Knuckle curve got him. So Hooton chalks up his first strikeout. One away, and here's LaCourte. The Dodgers have announced that Cary Grant will throw out the first ball on opening day, Thursday afternoon, April 5th at Dodger Stadium, when the Dodgers take on the San Diego Padres. Strike to LaCourte. Pre-game ceremonies that day will include the presentation of National League championship rings to the Dodger players by National League President Chub Feeney. There's a pop-up. Ferguson taking charge and makes the catch. 2 out. You're watching Dodger baseball on KTTV, Channel 11, Los Angeles. Jerry Royster singled to open the game.
Number 1, Jerry Royster.
And then was doubled off on the fly ball that Glenn Hubbard hit to deep left field to Dusty Baker. Later in that same inning, the Braves came up with 3 more singles and a walk, but wound up with just 2 runs. Breaking ball for a called strike. Bert Hooton put together his finest year last year. He won 19 for the Dodgers. That's low, 1-1. Bert finishing second in the Cy Young voting to Gaylord Perry. There's one hit to Garvey. Was up to get it. And the Braves are gone in order in the second. And at the end of an inning and a half, Atlanta 2 and the Dodgers 1.
For the Braves, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left.
There are our friends, Rudy Hoyos on the right and Jaime Herrin on the left, to do such a wonderful job of broadcasting Dodger games for all of our Spanish-speaking friends back in Southern California.
Joshua.
They came in the last couple of days and will be with us until the club returns home Wednesday night. The Dodgers open their National League season with a 4-game series with the San Diego Padres, and there'll be something special happening at each of those games, with the gala opening ceremonies and a souvenir ticket for all fans in attendance. Don Joshua leads off for the Dodgers in the second and takes a ball. Friday, April the 6th is poster night with a beautiful poster featuring all of the Dodgers, free to all fans in attendance. Ball 2 to Joshua. The first Saturday night game, April 7th, is fireworks night with a gigantic fireworks show after the game. Fly ball to left. Burrows came in a step. Now Jeff's got to retreat, but he's got time to make the catch. 1 away. 1 away, and here's Joe Ferguson. And then on Sunday, April the 8th, that'll be Pennant Day at Dodger Stadium with a free Dodger pennant to all fans in attendance. Remember, it all starts Thursday afternoon, April the 5th, opening day. Hope to see you at Dodger Stadium. And this coming weekend as well, Friday night and Saturday night, the Freeway Series against the Angels. Ferguson hitting 167 in Florida. Swings hard and misses. The Dodger team batting average in spring training is .277. Off-speed pitch lifted to left center field. Bonnell calling for it and puts it away. So LaCourte has retired 4 in a row since Garvey's RBI single in the first. The Braves leading the Dodgers 2-1, and here's Bert Hooton.
Number 46, pitcher, Bert Hooton.
Hooton last year had 10 hits, including a double. He drove in 2 runs. And he rolls one through the right side. So Hooton has the Dodgers' 3rd hit off Frank LaCourte. And that'll give Davey Lopes a chance here in the 2nd inning. Hooton wants his warm-up jacket.
Third baseman, number 15, Davey Lopes.
The manager of the Braves, Bobby Cox, got married during the offseason. There's Bobby. He was married in November to a woman that he met when the Braves promotional caravan was in Rome, Georgia last winter. So these PR trips sometimes work out for you. Lopes takes one low for a ball. Next one misses low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Lopes. 2 out, Hooten at first, bottom of the second. 2-1 Braves. Big Dale Murphy back down in a crouch. High hopper, going to be a tough play for Mike Maha. Didn't get him. I think that's one of those instances where a player's reputation helps him. Watch Lopes again, racing to first. Maha made the play. It's close. He was obviously safe, but you have to realize that the umpire's a human being just like the rest of us, and he realizes that's Davy Lopes running, not Bert Hooten, for instance. Russell grounds one up the middle. Hooten being waved to the plate with a tying run. Lopes going to third. Bonnell throws to third. It gets away, bounced into the Dodger dugout. Lopes is going to score. They would have awarded him home plate anyway because the ball wound up in the dugout, and the Dodgers lead it 3-2. Now let's see, maybe they're going to change it. Lopes seems a little bit frustrated because Jim Thompson, the plate umpire, pointed toward third base. They might make him go back. No, apparently not. The run is in, and Russell winds up at third. Bonnell had a pretty good shot at Lopes. Hooten was in to score, to tie it. And the throw to third, zip past Mike Maha. Hit the back of that open dugout and careened back toward the field to LaCourte, who threw to Murphy. And Lopes was in. But the umpire had already pointed his finger at the plate as Lopes went into his slide, as if to say, your run's going to count whether I call you out or safe. So with 2 out, the Dodgers come up with 2 runs here in the second inning, and they lead the Braves 3-2. Gary Thomason takes one for a strike. So Russell gets credit for an RBI, and the error by Bonnell brings home Lopes with the go-ahead run for the Dodgers. Thomason walked his first time up, and the count to him now 1 ball and 1 strike. Pop foul, out of play. They're going to give the error to the third baseman, Mike Maha, not Bonnell. So the Dodgers have 3 singles with 2 out, plus the error. It's added up to 2 runs. Thomason strikes out swinging. The Dodgers get 2 runs, 3 hits. 1 error, 1 left. At the end of 2, Dodgers 3, Braves 2.
For the Dodgers, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. Fans on.
Hey, wish you owned a truck full of gas? Well, now you can own a car full of gas mileage. The incredible Datsun 210 hatchback, our highest gas mileage car, #1. So why pour your money down the tank? Buy a Datsun.
Put your money in the bank, not in the tank. Buy a Datsun, Datsun.
To save you money.
Here comes the Budweiser Spider. 600 fuel-injected horses created to run out front, to lead the way, like Budweiser itself. On the Can-Am road racing circuit, on tracks all over North America, the roar and the red blur of the Spider say it loud and clear. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
For the first time, the Dodgers are leading the Braves now 3-2 at the end of 2 innings here at Holman Stadium at Vero Beach. Crowds have been excellent throughout Florida again this spring. And we've got another big one here this afternoon at Dodgertown. Tommy Lasorda flanked by coaches Jim Lefevre on the right, Monty Basgall on the left. And there's Preston Gomez. Dodgers fly home Wednesday night, take Thursday off, and open the Freeway Series at Dodger Stadium against the Angels this Friday night. Glenn Hubbard sent a deep drive to left field in the first inning. Dusty Baker went back among the faithful here to make the catch and turned it into a double play. Jerry Royster had rounded second. Half swing blooper foul to the stands. Braves have high hopes for Glenn Hubbard. There's a called strike. Bobby Cox has gone as far to say is that I think he's going to be the best defensive second baseman in the National League quickly. Of course, Davey Lopes has the Gold Glove from last year at that position. Hubbard checks his swing, 1-2. Hooten misses, 2-2. Cox was telling us that he doesn't think there's anybody in the National League who can turn the double play better right now than Glenn Hubbard. Fly ball to right. Joshua going back. The wind takes this one away from him and goes up on the embankment. Joshua takes a tumble. It's going to be a ground rule double. So it started out as an ordinary fly ball to right field. We saw one yesterday that Mickey Hatcher hit at Daytona Beach go the same way. And Hatcher's eventually left the park for a 2-run homer. Joshua went back a step, and then he just took off and couldn't get to it. So the ground rule double by Glenn Hubbard gives the Braves their 5th hit off Bert Hooten. Nobody out in the third. The tying run out there at second, and here's Gary Matthews.
Gary Matthews.
Matthews at .281 for the Braves last year. 18 home runs, 62 runs batted in. He takes inside. Gary graduated from San Fernando High School 11 years ago. Ball 2. Matthews got off to a tremendous start last year and then injured his shoulder, you might recall, at Dodger Stadium. That put him out for more than a month. Good hitter. Glenn Hubbard with a leadoff double here in the third inning. Dodgers leading 3-2. Two-one pitch. Grounded up the middle, over second and into center field. Hubbard scores the tying run. Matthews deadlocks it 3-3 in the third. So the Braves peppering Bert Hooten in the early going.
Left fielder, number 7, Jeff
Matthews
Burrows.
is 2 for 2 this afternoon, and we're all even again. Jeff Burrows walked his first time up. Scored one of the Braves 2 runs in the first inning. Dodgers came back with 1 in their half of the first and 2 more in the second. Now it's 3-3 in the top of the third. Knuckle curve for a called strike. Burrows, like Dale Murphy and Bob Horner, hit 23 home runs for Atlanta last year. And like Horner, Jeff had 19 of them in Atlanta Stadium, a hitter's haven. Dodgers claiming it was a foul tip by Burrows, but the umpire, Jim Thompson, did not indicate that. The scoreboard shows 0-2. High for a ball. Nobody out here in the third. A double and a single, giving Atlanta the tying run. Russell can't get this one. Another base hit. Matthews around second, and he'll hold on. So 3 hits in this inning and 7 in the game off Bert Hooton in 2 innings plus.
Number 29, first baseman,
Mike Lum singled in the first run of this afternoon's game in the first inning. So it's been a very rocky outing for Bert Hooton. He'd gone 11 consecutive scoreless innings this spring. But the Braves showing him no respect this afternoon. Ferguson going after the runner, throws it away. Matthews goes to third, Burrows to second. Ferguson has his second error in the first 3 innings. Now the Dodgers will bring the infield in. Ferguson thought he had a shot at Matthews and threw it wildly into center field. Hooton will work out of a stretch. He misses outside to Lum, 2-0, and the ball gets away. I don't know whether Lum laughing. I don't know whether the ball hit the bat. Mike having a good time at home plate.
That's the way to get him to hit the ball.
Ball 3, 3-0. Lum, the first Hawaiian to play in the major leagues since the islands achieved statehood. That was back in 1967. Let's see if he's swinging 3-0. He is, and that's going to be trouble to left center field. A long run, and not able to get there is Baker. 1 run is in. Burrows goes over to third. It's 4-3 Atlanta, and Lum has his second RBI single of the day. And Hooton hadn't gotten anybody out here in the third, and Red Adams is going to go out and talk to him. A double and 3 straight singles. Good for 2 more runs here in the third.
Catcher, number 3.
And Atlanta has bounced back in front, 4-3. Hooton gave up 4 singles in the first inning. He's given up 3 singles and a double in the third. And Adams asking, what's the problem? So Red has had his say. And a batter will be Dale Murphy, who also singled in a run in the first inning. The sun darting in and out of the clouds here today at Vero Beach. Murphy sends a fly ball to right. He gets that up in the airstream. Joshua coming over to the line, still going. He makes the catch. The runners tag and move up. And the Braves expand the lead to 5-3 as Burrows checks across. Good running catch by Von Joshua. But it was so deep that there was no chance to prevent an advancement. Joshua right at the line when he reached up and one-handed it. Going away. So Murphy also has 2 runs batted in, and here's Barry Bonnell, who fouled out in the first inning. He lines one that almost hits the second base bag. Thomason's throw to the plate. They're going to hold a runner at third, and going down to second on the throw to the plate is Bonnell. So it has been batting practice really for Atlanta, except for the second inning against Bert Hooton. That is the 5th hit of the inning. 9 hits in the game for the Braves in 2 1/3 innings. And Mike Maha comes up for the second time. Braves 5, Dodgers 3. Runners at second and third with 1 out, and again the Dodger infield has to play in. The pitcher is due up next. Maha lines one off Hooten's glove. He doesn't see it. The run scores. Lopes records the out at first, but that makes it 6-3 Braves. Little soft liner. And trainer Bill Bueller calls time. He wants to go out and check on Hooten to see if that ball struck him on the hand.
Pitcher, number 42, Frank LaCourty.
Hooten says he's okay. But the Braves have their 4th run of the inning, and it's 6-3 Atlanta. Here's LaCourty. LaCourty popped up to Ferguson in front of the plate in the second inning. He hit the ball well, but Baker's got a play on it. That'll do it for the Braves, but they send 8 men to the plate. 4 of them score, 5 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. And at the end of 2 1/2 innings at Dodgertown, Braves 6, Dodgers 3.
For the Braves, 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, 1 left.
When it comes to choosing ball players, a manager looks for versatility, the ability to do many things well. And when it comes to choosing a service station, you should do the same thing. For example, at many Union 76 stations, they offer you certified service, which means your 76 dealer can give your car professional care in areas such as brakes and wheel alignment. Look for these stripes. They're your assurance of quality service at the station where you can always fill her up with spirit, the spirit of 76. Fresh pork, the meat that doesn't let you down. It's so consistently tender, there's no need to grade it, prime, choice, and so forth, like other meats. And pork is the most flavorsome of all fresh meats. But it's at peak of flavor only when strictly fresh. And in Southern California, this means the only eastern corn-fed pork that's brought out here live and dressed fresh locally. Pork so superior in freshness and flavor, you should ask for it by name, Farmer John.
Well, friends, we have something for every baseball fan that might be even better than wallpaper. That's right, a poster. And boy, will that be attractive in your kid's bedroom or den, maybe even yours. A beautiful poster will be given to every fan in attendance at poster night, Friday night, April the 6th at Dodger Stadium. Autographed, all the players. Really a beautiful thing. So if you'd like one of these free Dodger posters, be in attendance at Dodger Stadium on Friday night, the 6th of April, when the Dodgers play the San Diego Padres. Be there and get your poster. It's a beauty.
It's been a day for the hitters thus far. The Braves leading the Dodgers 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the third, and Steve Garvey takes the first pitch high for a ball and fouls the next one back into the stands. Garvey singled in the Dodgers' first run in the first inning. Garv now with 6 runs batted in. Reggie Smith leads the club with 10. Dusty Baker has 7. Garvey, Say, and Baker for the Dodgers in the third. Atlanta surging in front with 4 runs in the top half of the inning. Frank LaCourty misses high and inside. 3-1. The Dodgers have had 5 hits off LaCourty in the first 2 innings, but he's leading by 3. Ball 4 and Garvey's on. That is LaCourty's second walk. He walked Gary Thomason in the first inning. Here's Ron Say. Say was called out on strikes on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. One of 3 LaCourty strikeout victims. Broken bat, slow roller to short. Royster bobbles and has no play. It was hit too slowly to have any kind of double play chance. Royster just couldn't get a handle on it. And the Dodgers wind up with Garvey at second, Say at first, still nobody out. And Dusty Baker, the hitter. So we've had 4 errors, 2 per club in the first 3 innings. Baker struck out swinging in the first, leaving runners at second and third as he was the final out. Off speed and low, 2-0. Remember a game LaCourte pitched a couple of years ago. Everybody was raving about what kind of stuff he had. Baker drives one to left field, but that's up in the wind, and Jeff Burroughs is under it. Makes the catch. 1 out. The runners hold on.
Right fielder,
I think it was Tom Seaver who made the comment about the LaCourte game. I think LaCourte struck out about 12 that night. And Seaver said with the stuff LaCourte had tonight, he would have beaten the 1927 Yankees. Von Joshua flied out to Burroughs his first time up. Good fastball. Joshua in the spring hitting 179. Figures to be one of the utility outfielders and one of the pinch hitters for the Dodgers this year. That's outside, 1-1. Suddenly the Dodgers have more left-handed pinch hitters this season than right-handed pinch hitters. Breaking ball back to LaCourte. Got a chance for 2. That's 1. And no, Lum juggled the ball. So Say is forced. Garvey winds up at third. Joshua is on at first.
Catcher, number 13, Joe Ferguson.
1 hopper. Jerry Royster, the middleman. Say went after him. Royster's throw was in the dirt. Lum first had it, then juggled, did not have possession, and dropped it. First and third, 2 out, and here's Joe Ferguson taking 1 low. Ferguson flied out to center field in the second inning. 6-3 Braves. Bottom of the third. Breaking ball misses. 2-0. Bert Hooton would be next. A windy day in Vero Beach. Wind whipping out toward right center field. High ball 3, 3-0. So it might be that LaCourte is just pitching around Ferguson with Hooton coming up next. No one throwing in either bullpen. Ferguson swinging, and he fouls it back. 3-1. Garvey's at third. Joshua at first. 2 out. 3 balls and a strike to Joe Ferguson. And the bases are loaded. LaCourte walks his third man, and Hooton will hit for himself.
Number 46, pitcher.
Hooton grounded a single through the right side his other time up today. So he's got a chance to help himself right here. Bases loaded, 2 out, bottom of the third. Braves leading the Dodgers 6-3. Fastball in there for a strike. Atlanta again had the worst ERA in the National League a year ago, over 4. Breaking ball misses, 1-1. Phil Niekro and Larry McWilliams are going to be 2 of the Braves starters. Gene Garber is going to be in the bullpen, and about everything else on the Braves staff is open. Hooton smashes one to Mike Maha, who forces Joshua at third. So Hooton smashed it, but right at the third baseman. No runs, no hits, 3 left. Jerry will be along in a moment. At the end of 3, Braves 6, Dodgers 3.
No hits, 1 error.
In California, celebrating a birthday and wishing you were there to cut some of the cake. So happy birthday to Lynn from all of us down here in Florida. Let's go along to the fourth inning of the ball game. And for Atlanta now, the top of the order, Royster, Hubbard, and Matthews.
Leading off for the Braves, shortstop, number 1.
The Braves sent 8 men to bat in the third inning when they scored their 4 runs to take the lead. So here's Royster at bat. He has singled and lined out to first. Royster having a slow start to his spring, only 7 hits before today, 8 now, and his average around 200. Hooten's pitch, fly ball to right field. Joshua should handle this one. Vaughn back a step or two to make the play, and we have 1 gone. Beautiful home and stadium here in Vero Beach, Florida. And again, another big crowd on hand.
Glenn Hubbard.
Here's Glenn Hubbard now. He doubled into that crowd in right field when Joshua had to go around a palm tree, trip over a chair and an ice chest, and couldn't get to the ball. A ground rule double for Hubbard. Strike. Hooten trying to get the groove now after 2 shaky innings, the first and the third. But it's spring training. Good curve, but a little low. Hooten had been brilliant until today in his outings, but the Braves have roughed him up a little bit. He was 1-2 with the Braves last year. Ground ball to shortstop. Russell, a skip and a jump, and he threw him out. So Hubbard grounds out. 2 down, Gary Matthews will come up. Gary Matthews out of San Fernando High. Matthews came out of the re-entry draft out of a Giant uniform and signed with Ted Turner and the Braves for a big chunk. So he is now in the Atlanta uniform for the second year. He's 2 for 2 today, 2 runs scored and a run batted in. Hooten set. Good pitch. Foul tipped out of the glove. Next pitch is inside for a ball. Ground ball to shortstop. Here's Russell's throw across in time, and the side retired. 3 up and 3 down. So Hooten has a nice easy inning there in the fourth, and the score at the end of 3 1/2. Dodgers 3 and the Braves have 6.
None left. Fans, Wednesday, March 28th will be the final game of the spring training season.
Oh, you better hold it at $3.
Yes, sir. Rhonda, do you have any money? I thought I had more with me.
We need a Union 76 credit card, Jack.
She's right, sir. You know, if you had a Union 76 credit card, you'd never have to worry about forgetting your money.
I told you.
Do you have an application?
Oh, yes, sir. That was $3, right?
No. Make that $4.27.
26.
26 cents.
Fill her up with Spirit. The Spirit of 76.
The handiest ham ever, a Farmer John boneless ham. Far more convenient than the canned kind, with no can to open, no gelatin to fuss with. Full size and the popular mini size, too. And Farmer John's old-fashioned hams with the bone in. Ham that's smoked and then some, the old-time Western way, to give it a hearty Western flavor all its own. Ham that's Easternmost in quality, Westernmost in flavor. Only from Farmer John.
Hi, I'm Vin Scully. The view of the field here at Dodger Stadium is certainly familiar to me. I'm just above the radio booth in the reserve seat level off third base. You know, it's a reminder. There's still time to purchase season tickets right here on this reserve level between first and third base. Be sure to drop by Dodger Stadium, and the good folks in the ticket office will take you out here, show you the seat, and it will be yours, maybe in time for the opening game with San Diego, April the 5th. 81 games.
Davy Lopes at bat facing Licardi, and the pitch comes to him too high. That's ball 2 to Davy. 2-0. Lopes today has 2 hits of the infield variety. 1 over the middle and 1 at the left side. Foul on the ground behind the plate. Davies had a good spring. Came into the game with 11 hits. Now he has 13. Garvey has 13, and Russell has 13. So all 3 of them, 13. They are the fast starters on the infield. 2-1 count to Davy, facing Licardi, who is battling for his job. changeup is a little high, ball 3, and it goes to a 3-1 count. LaCourte is out of options. He's had a bad spring. He's been up with the Braves 3 different times, sent back each time. So this is do or die for him. That's a strike at the knees, 3-2. Davey ready to go to first base on that one, but umpire Jim Thompson said no. So El Capitan will come back and try it again. 3-2 pitch. Way high, ball 4. So Davey Lopes draws a walk, and that is the 4th walk given up by LaCourte. Brings on Russell. Billy singled to center to drive in a run his last time up. Was on a force play first time up. Has scored a run. Russell a good spring. 13 hits in 39 at-bats. Breaking ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. LaCourte is out of Gilroy, California, just south of San Jose. Foul out of play. 1-1. Bill Russell. Frisbee game going on down there, and some of the kids chasing the foul ball. 1-1 count. Good fastball. Russell got just a piece of it. 1-2. For the Dodgers, Thomason is on deck. He's batting in Reggie Smith's spot in the order. Reggie will be ready to go in a couple of days. Dodgers tomorrow will play Minnesota here at Dodger Stadium. There's a pop foul out of play here at Holman Stadium at Dodgertown, I should say, to put it correctly. They'll play Friday night at Dodger Stadium against the Angels. Friday and Saturday night. And then Sunday afternoon at Anaheim in the final game of the Freeway Series. A ball and 2 strikes to Russell. Bottom of the 4th, Braves lead by 3. Windy day here in Florida. Lopes going. There's a high chopper over the mound, and here's Royster's play. It will be just in time. So Russell is out, and Lopes advances to second base on the play. That'll bring on Gary Thomason, who has walked and struck out in 2 trips. And Gary has 10 hits in the spring in 39 at-bats. Thomason now trying to pick up Lopes from second base. The Dodgers have missed a couple of chances. They have left 6 men on base in 3 innings. The Braves have left 3 on. Gary takes a high slider, 1 ball, no strikes. Big white puffy clouds here in Florida this afternoon. The breeze moving those big Florida pine trees behind center field. Picture perfect day. Although a little windy for a ball game. Next pitch comes too high, ball 2, and it goes to a 2 ball, no strike count. This is really a beautiful setting here at Holman Stadium in Dodgertown. Thomason, with dirt in his eye, backs out for a moment. You can see the overflow crowd along the embankment out in left field. There's a foul out of play. 2-1 to Thomason. The Dodgers after this one, 3 more games in Florida, then back home. Orange trees on top of the embankment all the way around. 2-1 count, LaCourte's pitch. Foul back again, and it's 2-2. Crowd cheering for a youngster who jumps over the fence to come out and get that baseball. And the bat boy ran him down but couldn't quite catch up with him. 2-2 to Thomason. A look back at second base where Royster tried to cut in behind Lopes but no play. 2-2. Stretch again. There's a line drive to right for a base hit. That'll get Lopes in, perhaps. Here's Matthews' throw headed to the plate, and it will be not in time as Thomason singles to right. It is 6-4 in favor of Atlanta. So the walk, the ground out, and a base hit by Gary Thomason, who picks up his 3rd RBI of the spring. And here's Garvey at bat. Garvey has singled and walked. 6-4 ball game as the Dodgers get their 6th hit. 6-4. Well, they announced the cuts today before the squad goes back to California. There's a foul out of play. And a couple of players were a bit disappointed, no doubt, but they have options left. They had a good spring. They'll go out to Albuquerque and hopefully will be ready to come back next year. Garvey, a swing and a miss, strike 2. The Dodgers have some outstanding young prospects. They will come to California with 30 players perhaps, although Roden and Welch and Forster will be left behind for additional work here in Florida for a week. There's a fly ball into right field. Matthews fading back for it, still going back. He's at the track, can't get it. Into the crowd, a ground rule double. Matthews goes in to bring the ball back out, but it'll be ruled a ground rule double, and Thomason takes third. Garvey into second base with his second hit of the game, and the Dodgers now have the tying runs in scoring position with Ron Cey coming on. Any ball up into that wind, of course, is in a jet stream, and away it goes toward right field. So Matthews goes back in there and scrambles with the fans for that baseball, but it already is a ground rule double, although Matthews came up with the ball and brought it back in play. So Garvey's at second base, Thomason is at third, and here's Cey with a chance to tie the ball game, and Cey is at a very slow spring. Ronnie has 1 RBI in the spring. Two on. There's a bouncer foul outside of third out of play. Rudy Law and Myron White and Joe Simpson were the outfielders cut, and Simpson is out of option, so the Dodgers can't get him back. Catcher Mike Scioscia was cut, as were pitchers Mike Tennant and Dave Stewart and Ted Power. And mark down the name Dave Stewart. He'll be back. He's a good one. He's got a good arm. Pitch to Cey. Popped up foul off first base side. Lum giving it a chase, and it's going to be back into the crowd and out of play. So strike 2 to Cey. Ronnie with 84 runs batted in last year, but a slow start here in the spring. Ball game stands 6-4. Figured to be kind of a wild ball game with the wind conditions like they are. Ronnie pops this one up, foul, and again Lum with a look, and it's going to carry out of play down in the stands. Cey with 84 RBIs last year, 110 the year before, 80 in 1960, and 101 in 1976, I should say. In the 1975, he had 101. So every other year, Cey has exceeded the 100 RBI mark during the past 4 years. So if that holds true, Ronnie should have 100 plus this year. Strike 2 count to Cey. Over his head with a curve. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Baker on deck. Both Cey and Baker left the runners on there in the first inning. 1-2. LaCourte. Strike 3 called. Good breaking ball, and Cey is down on strikes. That's the 4th strikeout for LaCourte, and brings on Baker. So for Cey, he just soon gets spring training over with. Ronnie hadn't done much in the spring. He's had only 4 hits in 27 at-bats. Baker takes a curve for a strike. Both Cey and Baker struck out in the first inning with runners at second and third. The Dodgers are run in, 2 on, pitch on the way. Loop to left center field, might fall, and does. This ball game will be tied up. Baker a single to left center. Scoring Thomason and Garvey, and we're all even at 6. So for Baker, 9 RBIs in the spring now.
Right fielder, number 14.
The team leader in RBIs is Reggie Smith with 10. So Baker singles home Thomason and Garvey. And here's Joshua at bat. He's 0 for 2. Takes low, ball 1. So the Dodgers and the Braves, who have played some wild ball games during the past several years, they've got one going now. We're even at 6-6. Baker goes. Pitch high, throw down by Murphy is going to be in time, and Baker is out. As Royster got the throw on a bounce and still put the tag on him. Side out, Dodgers show 3 runs. There were 3 hits, none left, and the score through 4. Dodgers 6, Atlanta 6.
3 hits, none left.
Got 130,000 miles on my Datsun pickup.
Another tough Datsun story.
Replaced the alternator at 75,000. Other than that, it's been absolutely perfect. I can haul as much as the big trucks and a lot cheaper, too.
Datsun trucks save.
Even with 130,000 miles on it, I can take my Datsun anywhere.
See all the 79 Datsun trucks. Their first job is to last.
Datsun, we are driven.
To build trucks that last.
Whoa! Palm Springs. You know, in the movie Road to Utopia, I discovered a ton of gold, and all I have to show for it today is 2 gold inlays. Now I'm a little older and a lot wiser.
Hi, Mr. Hope.
Oh, hi, Miss Webb. That's why my money's in California Federal Savings. I know it's in a safe place, and it'll be there when I need it. They want you to get the most for your money. I gotta go. I want to find my ball before it gets dark. Hey, ball.
California Federal Savings.
Hooten has had 2 good innings and 2 not so good here today, so now he goes into the 5th inning. The odd innings have been bad for him. 2 runs in the 1st and 4 runs in the 3rd. The even innings, 2nd and 4th, they got him out 1, 2, 3. It'll be Burroughs, Lum, and Murphy coming on now in the 5th inning. Jeff Burroughs out of Wilson High in Long Beach wants to pass along regards to his wife Debbie, who's perhaps watching the ball game in California. So Jeff's doing fine here, and he says hi to Debbie. Be home soon. I don't know how soon. The Braves do not get to California for a while. Fastball for a strike. The Braves come to Los Angeles on the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th of April. Fastball too high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Burroughs. Jeff, a fine athlete. Good golfer, MVP in the American League with Texas several years ago. Takes inside for a ball. Burroughs hit 30 home runs for Texas in 1973. Then the next year with 25 home runs and 118 RBIs got the MVP award. He had 41 home runs with the Braves in 1977. A high chopper toward 3rd, and Say in front of Russell. They run together, and there's no play, and Russell got stepped on. Maybe he got spiked. Say cutting in front of Russell has no play. Let's see if Russell's all right. He's limping away. See how they score that one. So we'll wait for the scorekeeper to decide that one for us. I think they're going to give it a base hit to Burroughs. It'll be his 2nd hit. Now the left-hand batter, Mike Lum, is up there. Breaking ball, too high, ball 1. Mike Lum did a good job as a pinch hitter last year, 11 for 36 with 2 home runs for the Reds. Takes high for a ball. Lum was the last Braves player to hit 3 home runs in a single game, and he did that while Hank Aaron was still playing in 1970 against the Padres. Pops it up on the 3rd base side. Say right there. Ronnie has that one for the out. 1 away. So Lum pops out. 1 down. The batter will be Dale Murphy, the big catcher. Scoring fly ball and a single to drive in 2 runs today. Murphy led the Braves in RBIs with 79 last year. Murphy at bat. The Dodgers shorten up to double play depth. 5th inning, tied at 6-6. Charlie Huff throwing in the Dodger pen now in left field. A strike to Murphy, 0-1. Hooten is in his 5th inning of work. He might go 1 more. No one throwing for the Braves in their bullpen. Good sinker. Good fastball. He had something on that one. Strike 2. Happy Hooten, 19-game winner last year. Braves 6, Dodgers 6. Braves had a 4-run third. The Dodgers had a 3-run fourth. Burroughs on first, one out. Here's the pitch. A little low. A ball and 2 strikes. Bonnell is on deck and Maha due to follow. One and 2. Just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hooton has walked 1, struck out 1, allowed 10 hits. 2 each for Matthews, Burroughs, and Lum. For the Dodgers, Lopes and Garvey each have 2. Just off the hands, ball 3, full count. Happy trying to pick up the inside corner on him, and he just missed it. Alex Grammas giving signs over on the third base side. Hank Aaron's brother Tommy is in the first base coaching lines for Atlanta. 3 and 2. We'll see if they send Burroughs now. Not too much speed. He goes, and the pitch is ball 4. So Murphy draws a walk. The second walk given up by Hooton. The Braves have 2 on, and here's that odd inning popping up again for Hooton. An infield hit and a walk after a pop-up. And here's Barry Bonnell at bat, singled and fouled out in 2 trips. Bonnell had an off year last year after hitting 300 2 years ago. He had to move from the outfield to third base and then back to the outfield, and that kind of shook him up. And he wound up hitting just .240 with only 1 home run in 117 games. Top of the 5th inning. Braves have 2 on in a 6-6 tie. Ground ball foul outside of third. That'll bounce up off the box seat railing and down the line. Oh, and 1 count. Bonnell waiting again. Burroughs on second, Murphy on first. Curve in the dirt, the knuckle curve, bit in the dirt, and Fergie digs it out. Sun behind a big puffy white cloud right now to cast a shadow. 1-1 count. Foul tipped out of play. 1 and 2 to Bonnell. Now the youngster comes out of the stands to grab that foul ball behind the home plate area. Then goes diving back in there again. A ball and 2 strikes to Bonnell. Here's the look and here's the pitch. High and tight for a ball. 2 and 2. It's a dangerous practice for the kids to jump out of the stands and go after that baseball and then run back and dive back over that wire fence. Get a leg caught or fall and hit your head on the concrete. Could be hurt seriously. The Dodgers don't mind the baseball, but they don't want you to get hurt. There's a ground ball past third down the line that's going to carry into the bullpen area and will be a ground rule double. And the Braves have taken the lead again 7-6 as Bonnell doubles down the third baseline, driving home Burroughs with the run. That is the 11th hit allowed by Hooton today, and going to third is Murphy as Bonnell gets his second hit. And the batter will be Mike Maha, the third baseman, and the pitcher LaCourte is due up next. An open base. We'll see how the Dodgers play it now. They bring the infield in against Mike Maha, who has struck out and hit a bouncer back, hit a liner back to Hooton, who couldn't hold it. It bounced off his glove, and then Lopes made the play. A run scored on the play. So Maha at bat, base 2 on. Ground ball to shortstop. Russell kicks it and has no play, and the run is in. Billy would have had a play at the plate, but he booted it for an error, and the Braves get another run and lead 8-6. So the Dodger infield have messed up a couple of plays here. First, Say cut in front of Russell on Burroughs' chopper. Couldn't make a play. That went for a base hit. And now Russell, with runners on at second and third and a chance to make the play at the plate on the hard ground ball, boots it for an error and allows another run to score. Holding at second base is Bonnell. Bunt is on, and Garvey barehand play to third base in time. Good play by Garvey on the bunt. Garvey right down on top of that ball. And boy, that's worth seeing again if we have that one on a disc. So on the force play, Garvey making a good play to get Bonnell going to third. Look at it again. Here comes Garvey. Barehand pickup. And his throw over to save. So LaGuardia is on the force play, and here's the leadoff batter, Jerry Royster, coming up. In the inning, infield hit, a flyout, a walk, a double, an error for a run, and then the force play on the bunt try. The Dodgers now have made 3 errors in the game, and the Braves have 2. 8-6 in a wild Donnybrook going on here today at Holman Stadium in Vero Beach, Florida. Breaking ball and a good stop by Ferguson. Royster today has 1 for 3. Out of Sacramento, former Dodger farmhand. Top of the 5th inning. Curve low for a ball. 8 runs, 11 hits for the Braves. Had Russell fielded Maha's ball, it's optional as to whether he had to play at the plate or at first base. Here's a pop-up on the right side. Joshua coming a long way for it, calling, and makes the play for the out. So Royster flies to right. The Braves are gone with 2 runs on 2 hits, an error, and 2 left, and the score at the end of 4½. Braves 8, the Dodgers have 6.
Has this ever happened to you? You've been out somewhere, had a good time, then come back to start your car and you've got a dead battery. You know, if you don't keep an ordinary battery filled with water, it won't start your car. But this battery never needs water. It's the Union 76 maintenance-free battery. And if you tend to forget things like your battery, it's definitely the one for you. You find it only at Union 76, where you can always fill her up with spirit. The spirit of 76. The most luscious lineup in the West. Luncheon meats the way luncheon meats should be. Not just fresh, but Farmer John fresh. They're the only luncheon meats which offer you the freshness and full fresh flavor of strictly fresh Eastern corn-fed pork that's dressed fresh right here locally. And all the beef is juicy, fresh domestic beef. So the next time you make sandwiches, enjoy them more with the fresh ones. The luncheon meats fresh from Farmer John.
Well, friends, in the Dodgers' first big home series against the San Diego Padres, they'll be flying the pennant. That's right, the 1978 National League Championship pennant will be on display. And for every fan who attends that ball game, you're going to get a pennant also, just like this, completely autographed by all of the Dodger players. So remember, that's Pennant Day at Dodger Stadium when the Dodgers play the San Diego Padres. We hope you'll be there with us and watch them raise the pennant and get your souvenir pennant with all the autographs. Be there Sunday, April the 6th.
Leading off for the Dodgers, right fielder, number 14, Von Joshua.
For the Dodgers now in the last half of the 5th inning, it'll be Joshua Ferguson and Rudy Law will bat for Bert Hooton. So we'll mark Hooton down as finished for the day. 5 innings, 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. Here's a high pop fly into center field. Bonnell and Hubbard now calling, and it's the second baseman to make the play as Joshua pops up. And here is Ferguson coming on now.
Catcher, number 13,
Joe has walked and flied to center field. Three Dodger errors contribute to the Atlanta lead, which is 8-6. Fergie at bat with Law to follow and Huff in the bullpen. Pitch comes low for a ball. Dodgers batting in the last half of the 5th inning. Gene Garber begins to throw in the bullpen for Atlanta. Gene with the herky-jerk move. He's a good one. Here's the pitch high. Ball 3 to Ferguson. 3 balls and no strikes. Now the 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 3-1. And Fergie is on with a walk. Now that is the 5th walk from LaCourty. He has 4 strikeouts. Ferguson goes to first base. And the batter, Rudy Law, who has just gotten to Albuquerque.
On Sports World from the Lone Star State, it's the amateur boxing rematch of the year.
Scored 2 runs. And he's stolen 2 bases. Rudy Law, who had a very good year last year at Albuquerque. 312. He's 22 years old and he's back. Take a look at him. He's going to be around for quite a while. Curve is low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rudy. He, of course, was disappointed to be cut, as were those who were sent back. Low and away for ball. 2-1. You're watching Dodger baseball on KTTV, Channel 11, Los Angeles. 2-1 to Law. LaCourty trying to wind it up here. Perhaps his last inning. There's a base hit to left field. And Law is 7 for 11 in the spring. He perhaps wonders how come he was cut and sent out so soon. But Law, pinch single to left field. Ferguson goes to second base. And Davey Lopes will be the batter now. The tying runs are on there again. It's been a wild one today. 8-6 score. Davey Lopes has 2 infield hits and a walk. He scored 2 runs, so the captain is 2 for 2. Now trying to get the Dodgers a little bit closer to LaCourty. High slider, ball 1. Once Garber gets in the ball game, that might be all as far as the run making is concerned, because he is tough. So the Dodgers trying to make him before he shows up. Fly ball, center field. Bonnell a long way to go for it. Matthews there, and it's Bonnell to make a one-hand play. So Lopes pops up to the center fielder. 2 down. The batter will be Russell, who's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Law holding at first base and Ferguson on second.
Number 18, Bill Russell.
Russell the batter with Thomason on deck, and Charlie Huff will be the new Dodger pitcher when we play in the 6th inning. Change up low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Dodgers 3 more in Florida, 3 in California, and 2 in Arizona for spring training. Russell, a fly ball to shallow right field, and the ball is carried right to Matthews for the out to retire the side. Billy hit a little too well. No runs and a hit and 2 left on. The score through 5. Atlanta 8, the Dodgers have 6.
How good is Datsun's new Z car? Motor Trend magazine saw its plush velour cockpit, computerized safety check, power steering, 5-speed with cruise control, 4-speaker stereo, and crowned it Import Car of the Year. The new Datsun 280ZX. It is awesome.
You know, back when I made road pictures, when you made a buck, you kept a buck. But today, with a high cost of living, you need a hedge against inflation. That's why I opened a Treasury bill account at California Federal Savings. It lets my savings earn the high rate of today's money market. The Treasury bill account at California Federal Savings. It's a sweet deal for savers. And here's this week's rate.
California Federal Savings.
Some changes for the Dodgers now. Charlie Huff comes in to take over the pitching. And at second base will be Gary Weiss. And at shortstop is Teddy Martinez. We'll try to find out how they're going to bat. I think Huff's going to bat in the number 2 spot. So Charlie Huff will bat second. And we'll put Teddy Martinez in the 1st spot, and Weiss will be in the 9 spot. Okay. So we get that word from Coach Monty Basman. So put Huff in the number 2 spot. Weiss playing second base. Gary Weiss. Youngster is a non-roster. Here's Huff's knuckleball, fouled away by Hubbard, strike 1. Martinez is batting in the leadoff spot and playing shortstop. So Russell and Lopes are off for the day, and Charlie Huff doing the work. Bunt try, third base way by Hubbard. Huff down to field, it throws, and got him. Good play by Garvey to dig it out. And a good play by Huff to bounce off the mound and make the play. That was a good play all the way around. So 1 away here in the 6th inning. And it'll be Matthews coming on. 8-6, the Braves lead. LaCourty, jacket in hand, has left the premises, so he is through. And we'll expect to see Garber in the bottom of the 6th inning. So LaCourty worked 5 innings, allowed 6 runs, 9 hits. Walked 5 and struck out 4. Matthews 2 out of 3 today with a run batted in and 2 runs scored. Knuckleball, strike 1, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike. Sails high with that one, and it is 2-1. Say at third, Martinez at short, Gary Weiss at second, and Garvey at first base for the Dodgers. Outfield, Baker, Thomason, and Joshua. Knuckleball loop to center field. Thomason coming up. He's got it, and there are 2 gone. So 2 away, and here's Burroughs at bat. Jeff has a perfect day today. 2 hits and a walk, and he scored 3 runs. So Burroughs has been very busy running the bases out there this afternoon. Two down, nobody on, 6th inning. Hooten, while he was in, worked 5 innings, 8 runs, 7 earned, 11 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. So Hooten, who had really things going his way so far in the spring, had a bad outing today, but it's spring training, and that's what they're here for, to get in the work, and Hooten got in his work. Those numbers won't go down in the book at all. 2-0 count to Burroughs. Inside off the glove, ball 3, 3-0. Fastball, 3-1. They give him a green light, usually do in spring. Going to get a good pitch, go ahead and swing at it. 3-1 with 2 outs. And that one's inside, ball 4. So Burroughs is on with a 2-out walk. The first walk given up by Huff. And here's Mike Lum. Mike is 2 for 3.
First baseman, number 29.
Garber has completed his warm-ups and is coming down the sidelines, ready to go on and pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ferguson and Huff now meeting. Fergie has that big waffle floppy type glove now to catch the knuckleball. And take a look at that glove. It's a little bit bigger than the other one and almost loose, floppy like a first baseman's mitt. That was designed first by Paul Richards, who had Hoyt Wilhelm as one of his players on his team in Baltimore. So he designed that glove for his catcher. Give him a little more flexibility and able to catch that knuckleball. It's hard enough to catch it with that kind of a glove, but with a regular catcher's glove, it was really tough. Strike 1 count to Mike Lum. There's a ground ball punched to the left side, base hit. So Lum hit that ball to the left side of the infield for his 3rd hit of the day. So Mike Lum, who is back with the Braves after a couple of years with Cincinnati, bidding for the first base job and doing a good job of it. And here's Dale Murphy at bat. He's perfect. A single, a scoring fly ball and a walk, a run scored, and 2 runs batted in. So with 2 out, there are 2 on as the Braves lead the Dodgers 8-6. The Dodgers have lost 2 straight. They lost to the Braves on Thursday, were rained out on Friday, lost to Montreal yesterday, and have 3 more games, 2 of those against American League clubs. Tomorrow, Minnesota. Tuesday, it will be Boston Red Sox, and then Wednesday, the New York Mets here. Knuckleball for a strike to Big Dale Murphy. This might be his last inning behind the plate. A new catcher with tools on, seated in the dugout off to the right side. Strike 1 count. Top of the 6th inning, Braves lead 8-6. 12 hits for the Braves, 9 for the Dodgers. Good knuckleball. A swing and a miss, strike 2. The wind, of course, can do tricks with the knuckleball depending on the direction of the wind and the velocity of the wind. For Charlie today, the wind is across. It'll be interesting to find out whether that helps or hurts in that direction. Of course, the candlestick winds swirl a lot and can help or hinder a knuckleball pitcher. That one gets away from Ferguson. Down in the dirt to the right side. Now we'll wait for a scoring on that one. The runners move up. And I think it'll be scored as a pass ball. All right, Murphy, the batter. Waiting now with a 1-2 count. And at third base, Burrows, at second base, Lum, and Huff now working. Struck him out. Good knuckleball, and down goes Murphy. First strikeout for Charlie. Side retired. No runs and a hit and 2 left on. And the score at the end of 5.5 innings. Braves 8, the Dodgers have 6.
Hey, Murph, you ready for my tune-up?
It's coming right up. Billy,
yes, sir.
Mr. Watson needs a tune-up.
Right, Murph.
Murph?
Yeah.
Where's Nick? This guy looks like a kid.
Well, that may be, but Billy's a qualified tune-up man. Billy, will you show Mr. Watson your stripes?
Oh, yeah, I just graduated from Union 76 Certified Service School in tune-ups and emission control.
Well, I guess you can't tell a good worker by how often he shaves.
That's right.
Fill her up with Spirit. The Spirit of 76. Sausage for supper. Easy to fix, easy on your food budget, and deliciously easy to take when it's labeled Farmer John. This is the only Eastern pork sausage in your food store that's strictly fresh and a peak of flavor. Yet full-pound rolls normally cost less, often much less, than just 12-ounce rolls of advertised brands shipped in from the East. Farmer John sausage in the roll and in skinless pork links. A simply super supper idea. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully.
And Jerry Doggett.
And you know, I can't believe it. It seems like just yesterday that Bob Welch was eyeballing Reggie Jackson in the World Series, and here we go again.
Opening day is right around the corner. It'll be Thursday, April the 5th, the Dodgers and the Padres.
And the Padres, with a vastly improved ball club, figure they might win the division. That'll be Thursday afternoon, April the 5th at 1 o'clock. And we have a souvenir, Jer.
Yes, we have these beautiful souvenir tickets in attendance for all fans that come out to the ball game.
That's Thursday, April the 5th, 1 p.m. The Dodgers and the San Diego Padres. Be there.
Gene Garber now is the new pitcher, the bearded one, and boy, he's a good one. Garber, who came to the Braves from the Phillies last year, won 4 and lost 4 after a 2-1 year with the Phillies at the start of the year. And Garber had an earned run average of 2.54, and he was really something. He came in the trade for Dick Ruthven, who went to the Philadelphia Phillies. Garber began his pro career in 1965, bounced around in the minors for a long time, before finally popping up with Pittsburgh for a couple of years, and then with Kansas City. Back to Toledo, and then up with the Phillies in '74, and he's been great ever since. The pitch to Thomason is outside ball 1. That one's in there for a strike, and it is 1-1. You might notice, you've seen Garber perhaps, he has that herky-jerk motion, and he almost turns his back on the hitter. Makes him tough to pick up. You can see all of the number. A ground ball to second. Hubbard scoops that one up over to first base, and Thomason is out, 1 away here in the 6th inning. Garvey on deck, coming up now, has a single, a walk, and a double. So Garvey is 2 for 2, facing Garvey. Garber has made 2 appearances on the year, a total of 9 innings and allowed just 2 earned runs. Actually, he started one, and he is now relieving for the 3rd time. In there for a strike, 0-1. Garber not too big. Pitch comes low for a ball. He's about 5'11". They do not list his dimensions in the press guide. That's rare. Usually that's the first line they put in there. Born in 1947. So he's 31 years old, will be 32 in November. Pedro Guerrero warming up along the sidelines to replace Garvey. Ground ball to left field, base hit for Garber. Garvey's 3rd hit of the day. So both first basemen have 3 hits apiece. So Garvey is on at first base with a single. And that'll bring on Ron Cey, who is 0 for 3, on an error and struck out twice. And now Guerrero will run for Garvey. Pedro Guerrero will run and stay in at first base. Guerrero has looked great this spring. So Pedro, nicknamed Pete Guerrero. And down along the sidelines, Dodgers have Mickey Hatcher warming up. Cey chops one foul at the plate, strike 1. Strike 1 count to Cey. With the Braves leading 8-6 here in the bottom of the 6th inning, throw to first, not in time. Guerrero back on the bag. Mike Lum playing first base. Garber is the only change the Braves have made in their lineup today. 1-1 count to Cey. Swing and a miss. Ronnie's had a tough day today. He struck out twice. On the spring, Cey has only 4 hits in 27 at-bats. This is the 11th game that he's played. So for Cey, a slow spring. Foul tipped, held by Murphy, and it's strike 3. Cey is down on strikes for the 3rd time this afternoon. 6 Dodgers have struck out Cey 3 times. Here's Baker at bat, singled home 2 runs in the 4th inning to get the Dodgers even. So Baker is 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs today. Baker a quiet spring. He has only 8 hits, but he has 9 RBIs. He's had 2 home runs. Guerrero at first base. Baker at bat. Joshua on deck. Garber's pitch low for a ball. Garber had a 9-3 record with the Phillies in 1976. Pitch inside for a ball. 2-0. Garber had 47 games finished in 1977. Boy, that's a high number. Chopper foul of Baker's leg. 2-1. He had 22 saves for the Braves after arriving from the Phillies. And that was still a high number for an Atlanta pitcher. And the most since Cecil Upshaw had a team record 27. So, boy, he came over and really fit right in with Atlanta. It was a tough adjustment for him because he was on a pennant contender and then to a cellar club. Pitch high for a ball. And for Gene Garber, he had to really mentally adjust to the letdown of going from a team in the thick of a pennant race to a team going nowhere. But he has adjusted very well, signed a long-term contract now. 3-1 count. Runner going. Pitch swung on and missed. Throw through to second base. Guerrero steals it with a head-first slide. So Pedro Guerrero with a steal. That is his 2nd of the spring. And Dusty Baker waiting now with a 3-2 count, trying to pick him up. Guerrero broke a leg year before last. but he's running quite well now after that mishap. 3-2 pitch. That's too low, ball 4, and so Baker is on, and here's Joshua at bat now.
Right fielder, number 14, Vaughn Joshua.
Joshua the batter, and Vaughn today is 0 for 3. Popped up, flied out, hit into a force out. Guerrero broke the leg in 1977, played only 32 games. He came back last year, and in 134 games hit .337 with 116 runs batted in to lead the Coast League. He's at second base now, and at first base is Baker. Joshua trying to pick him up and get the Dodgers even. Garber, swing and a miss, breaking ball into his knees. Ferguson on deck. Ten hits for the Dodgers, 12 hits for the Braves. They lead 8-6. Now again, Garber ready. He took a little off that time, turned it over, and Joshua was way out in front of it. Strike 2. So Joshua, at 0-2, finds himself in a deep hole, facing Gene Garber. 0-2 count, 2 outs. That's low for a ball. A ball and 2 strikes. Vaughn would like to hit one out of here. You can bet on that. Dodgers have 2 men on. Tying runs are aboard in an 8-6 ball game. There's a drive to right center field for a base hit. That's going to get a run in. Matthews over to cut it off. The tying run goes to third. It's 8-7. Atlanta leading. So Joshua strokes a single to right center field, sending Guerrero across the plate, and Baker to third base, and here's Ferguson coming on with 2 walks and a flyout. So Fergie coming up, trying to get the Dodgers even again. The Dodgers have never led today. They were behind 2-1. Technically, they went ahead 3-2. Then went behind 6-3 and tied it at 6-6. Fell behind 8-6, and now it's 8-7. With Ferguson at bat and Gary Weiss, who's playing at second base for the Dodgers, now on deck. Swing and a miss at that slider. Strike 1. Fergie, a quiet spring. 3 hits and only 1 RBI. So Joe trying to get his second RBI and get the Dodgers even here in the 6th inning. Fastball, strike 2. 0-2 the count to Joe Ferguson. The Dodgers have left 8 men on, and the Braves have left 7 on, and we've had 15 runs scored. So we've had men on base all the time in this ball game. That one's low, ball 1, 1-2. Baker on third, and Joshua's on first. He's going. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Down goes Ferguson. The side is retired. Second strikeout for Garber. 1 run. The Dodgers show 2 hits and leave 2 in the score as we go along to the bottom of the 6th inning, with Ross coming back with more play in the 7th. The score, Atlanta 8, the Dodgers have 7.
Just when you thought you'd seen all the new Datsuns 479, along comes the newest Datsun of all. The new front-wheel drive Datsun 310. Traction up front, backed by Datsun value, economy, at one of the plushest interiors in its class. The new Datsun 310. Front-wheel drive for handling, Datsun quality for keeps. To keep the quality coming.
Say, I'd like you to meet Clyde. He played the lead camel and rode to Morocco. Unfortunately, he spent his money on wild times, and he's now living at the home for old camels in Saugus. Lots of us make that mistake.
Hi, Mr. Hope.
Hi, Miss Webb. That's why I settled in with California Federal Savings. They're real pros, and they want you to get the most for your money. Come on, Clyde, if you missed the bus to Saugus.
California Federal Savings.
Hello again, everybody, from Dodger Town, Vero Beach, Florida. A windy Sunday afternoon and a day for the hitters at Holman Stadium. Through 6 innings, we've had 15 runs, 23 hits. Throw in 5 errors, and a lot of excitement for the fans, and a good crowd on hand to see the Dodgers' final Sunday appearance here in Florida this spring. Dodgers will be home Wednesday night, take Thursday off, and open the Freeway Series Friday night against the Angels at Dodger Stadium.
Number 33, Vic Davalillo.
Dodgers make some changes afield. Vic Davalillo goes in for Dusty Baker in left field. And Pete Guerrero takes over for Steve Garvey after running for him. Guerrero's at first base. Charlie Huff into his second inning of work, delivers to Barry Bonnell, who swings and misses.
Center fielder, Barry Bonnell.
Bonnell this afternoon has 2 hits and 3 at-bats. Doubled in a run in the 5th. He had singled in the 3rd and fouled out on the 1st. That's bounced foul down to 3rd. Alex Grammas makes a good play, as he used to do in the National League. Alex, the former manager of the Brewers, last year coached at Cincinnati. 0-2 to Bonnell. That one's headed to left field, backhanded by Martinez from the rim. The long throw is too late. Hits the runner, and Bonnell's aboard with an infield single. So Barry is 3 for 4 as he continues to impress here in Florida. Martinez got to the ball, but you see how deep he was on the grass. Gave it that old Dominican try to his buddy Guerrero, but they didn't get Bonnell. It's the second hit off Huff. Bert Hooton gave up 11 hits today in 5 innings of work. Mike Maha is 0 for 3. He takes a strike. Maha was an outstanding college player at Rice University, all Southwest Conference. Throw to first, Bonnell back. The Braves say that potentially this man is one of the best right-handed bats in their organization. Atlanta needs left-handed hitters. That's their problem. The runner's going, the ball's hammered to right. Joshua's sprinting back, and he's not going to get there. The ball rolls up the embankment, and it'll be a ground rule double for Mike Maha. So the Braves are at him again, 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out in the 7th inning. It's the 3rd double for Atlanta among the 14 hits that they've collected off Hooton and Huff. Gene Garber bats for the first time.
Pitcher, number 26, Gene Garber.
The Dodgers, trailing 8-7, bring the infield in. Garber had 1 hit last year, but he only got up 14 times. Foul tipped. Today's paid attendance, 5,931. But there are 6,411 fans here at Holman Stadium. That'll be one of the top 5 crowds, I think, all time here at Vero Beach. Garber swings and misses, strike 2. Earlier in the spring, the Dodgers attracted almost 8,600 to the park, 8,200 paid when the Yankees were here. It was last Saturday. Garber sends a fly ball to left center field. Davalillo, just into the game, makes the catch, and the runners will hold. So there's 1 out. That'll bring on Jerry Royster. Mickey Hatcher has come into the ball game in the top half of the 7th inning to play 3rd base. And it was Hatcher who went sprawling on that throw from Davalillo, but it was backed up by Ferguson. Royster this afternoon has a single and 4 at-bats. That came to open the ball game. Second and third, one out. The infield still in. Tough play for Hatcher. He short hops. He'll go to first base. The run scores. That makes it 9-7 Atlanta as Bonnell is home. Hatcher took a look at the plate, thought better of it, and got the out at first as Maha moved into third base. So Royster has an RBI. Here's Hatcher's play on Royster. Hatcher's a converted outfielder. This is really the first full year he's been used as a third baseman. 2 away in the inning. Here's Glenn Hubbard. Ball 1. Hubbard has a double in 4 at-bats. Atlanta 9, Dodgers 7. Top of the 7th. Huff made a good play. He didn't know where it was, and Charlie still was able to make the play and get Hubbard. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left at the end of 6 1/2. Braves 9, Dodgers 7.
Friends, how far do you drive every year? 10,000 miles, 20, 40? Well, you know the way you drive determines the kind of tires you buy, and there's no point in buying the most expensive tires if you don't need them. That's why your full-service Union 76 dealer carries a complete line of tires, and there's one just right for you. So if maybe you've driven, well, a little too far on the tires you have now, stop in at Union 76, and remember to fill her up with Spirit, the Spirit of 76. America's best liked fun food, the hot dog. And there's so much more to like when you choose the hot dogs from Farmer John. You'll like their extra freshness from locally dressed eastern corn-fed pork and juicy fresh domestic beef. You'll like their heartier western flavor from the smoking and their livelier zestiness from natural herbs and spices. Farmer John wieners, extra long wieners, and beef franks. The most likable hot dogs you can buy. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully.
And Jerry Doggett.
With a reminder that fireworks come early to Dodger Stadium this year, Saturday night, April the 7th.
That's right. It'll be the Dodgers playing the San Diego Padres in a great ball game, and then you can stay for the fireworks and you can light your sparklers.
And we've put on some great shows in the past, and we have a beauty coming up. Remember now, Saturday night, April the 7th at Dodger Stadium, the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres, and lots of fireworks for one and all. Hope you make your plans. I'm going to be there.
And the skyrockets will be all over the place.
Your room is ready.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th, Gary Weiss of the Dodgers grounds out. Mike Lum to Gene Garber covering. So young Gary Weiss, who last year played at Clinton, where he hit .281, makes the first out in the bottom of the 7th.
Number 23, shortstop, Teddy Martinez.
That'll bring on Teddy Martinez for the first time today. Martinez took over at shortstop for Bill Russell, but he's hitting in Davey Lopes' spot in the order. Martinez hitting .294 here in Florida. One of his 5 hits, a long home run here at Holman Stadium against Cincinnati this spring. Martinez tries to bunt and misses. I don't think Martinez thought that he should be charged with a strike, but he is. Garber jumps ahead 0-2. Inside, 1-2. On deck, Charlie Huff. Nobody throwing in the Dodger bullpen, so Charlie will go a while longer. 9-7 Braves. Breaking ball is popped up. Royster calling Glenn Hubbard away from it and makes the catch. 2 out on the Dodgers 7th.
Number 49, pitcher, Charlie Huff.
Huff got one of the great thrills of his baseball career one afternoon in Atlanta against these Braves when he hit a home run. Charlie, pretty good hitting pitcher, takes inside. Huff hit .333 last year. He only got up a dozen times, but he got 4 hits. 1-1. Dodgers have led only once today, 3-2 at the end of 2 innings. 1-2. It was tied 6-6, but Atlanta got 2 in the 5th. And now it is 9-7 Braves in the bottom of the 7th. High hopper, Royster charges, makes a good pickup and has time to get Huff. Good play with the bird. Garber gets the Dodgers in order in the 7th. As we go to the 8th, it remains Atlanta 9 and the Dodgers 7.
For the Dodgers, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Fans, don't forget that Tuesday, the Boston Red Sox will visit the
Dodson pickup. We got 118,000 miles on the last one.
You can take a Datsun King Cab anywhere.
I use them mainly for camping and fishing. Driving down roads most folks wouldn't walk down.
A King Cab is tough and comfortable.
I can tip the bucket seats way back and relax. No other little truck compares with my King Cab.
See the one and only Datsun King Cab. Its first job is to last.
Datsun, we are driven.
To build trucks that last.
Hey, hi, I'm Bob Hope. I've traveled so many roads, I get fan mail from the Auto Club. But now I'm on a new road, the road to California Federal Savings. When the people at CalFed asked me to come aboard, I couldn't say no. I've always wanted to be on a team where you can't lose. California Federal Savings and Bob Hope. Or make that Bob Hope and California Federal Savings. It has a nice ring to it.
California Federal Savings.
Over 6,000 fans watching the Dodgers and the Braves this afternoon here at Dodgertown. Those numbers aren't too impressive attendance-wise until you consider the fact that this place only seats 4,800. Been a great year for baseball in Florida. Large crowds everywhere. Of course, the weather back east, one of the major factors. People have come to Florida in droves this spring to see the big leaguers. You'll have a chance to see the Dodgers and Angels this Friday night and Saturday night at Dodger Stadium as the Freeway Series gets underway. 7:30 Friday night, 7 o'clock on Saturday evening. 9-7 Atlanta. As we go to the 8th, Gary Matthews has 2 singles today and 4 at-bats. Gary's wife is here watching the game. Knuckleball in for a strike. Bert Hooten went the first 5 innings. He'd like to forget about today's outing. Charlie Huff in his 3rd inning of work misses inside. Hooten, who had not allowed a run in 11 previous innings in Florida this spring, gave up 8 runs on 11 hits in those 5 innings today. Huff misses. Matthews, Burrows, and Lum for Atlanta in the 8th. Gary swings and misses. Knuckler taken inside. 3-2 to Gary Matthews. Huff has allowed a run on 3 hits in the first 2 innings. Foul tip. Ferguson held it. That'll do it for Matthews. It's Charlie Huff's second strikeout.
Left fielder,
Jeff Burrows has been on base 4 straight times. 2 singles and 2 walks. He has scored 3 of the Braves' 9 runs. Minnesota's Twins are here tomorrow. Boston will follow, and then the Mets. That's a left-hander named Mike Williams warming up for the Dodgers. Burrows swings and misses, 2-1. Next knuckleball got the inside corner. Strike 2, 2-2 to Jeff Burrows. Burrows sporting a beard this spring. Jeff didn't like the last call. Huff misses. So for the second straight batter here in the 8th, Huff runs it all the way out. 3-2. On deck, Mike Lum. Strike 3 call. So Huff gets Matthews and Burroughs on strikeouts. The Dodgers get Jeff for the first time today.
First baseman, number 29, Mike Lum.
Mike Lum has 3 singles in 4 at-bats. He and Brian Asselstein, who is from Santa Ynez, California, have been fighting for the first base job. Brian coming off of ankle surgery last May. That's ball 2, 2-0. Asselstein spent a lot of time with Bill Bonham of the Reds during the offseason working out, catching Bonham. There's a strike to Lum, 2-1. And apparently, both Bill and Brian will be ready to answer the opening bell in a couple of weeks when the National League season gets underway. Take it outside, 3-1. Bonham lives at Solvang in the offseason. 3-1 pitch to Lum. Huff's got another 3-2 count. He hopes to repeat what he did against Matthews and Burroughs against Lum. Charged by Weiss. Gary's throw is just in time. Lum isn't sure. He thought he had his 4th hit. The Braves go in order. And at the end of 7 1/2, Atlanta 9 and the Dodgers 7.
Will be here Wednesday, March 28th, and it will be Fan Appreciation Day at the New York Mets.
Checking your tires, Jill?
Yep.
Make sure to check your spare tire, too.
I will, Nick.
You know, a lot of people don't.
I know.
Like I always say, what good is a spare tire without air?
I agree.
It should always be ready to roll in case you need it.
Makes sense.
I got a great way to remember that, too.
You do?
Sure. Every time you check your air, open your trunk and check your spare.
That's very good, Nick.
He wrote it himself. Would you believe it?
I believe it.
Fill her up with Spirit. The Spirit of 76. A most delicious way to start the day. Farmer John Bacon cooking up to crackling crisp goodness in the morning. This is bacon like no other. Fine eastern corn-fed pork that's smoked the old-time Western way. And I do mean smoked. Not just once, but 3 times. Yes, 3 times. Until there's a smoke-hearty Western flavor in every morsel. Wake up to it often, friends. The bacon that's easternmost in quality and westernmost in flavor, only from Farmer John.
The Dodgers will return home on Friday night to open a 2-game series at Dodger Stadium with the Angels. The Dodgers and Angels play at 7:30 on Friday evening, and Saturday night it'll be at 7 o'clock. The Angels will feature batting star Rod Carew as they go against the Dodger Blue. And don't forget, season tickets remain on sale at the Dodger Stadium ticket office, and you can purchase those season tickets for the Angel games and all regular season games. Gary Thomason leads off in the 8th inning against Dave Campbell of the Braves and fouls it out of play. So the Braves have a new pitcher and a new left fielder. Ed Miller goes into left field. Dave Chopper Campbell, as he's known by his teammates, delivers. Thomason, did he go too far around? An appeal made. And they say, yes, he did. So 0-2 to Thomason, who has a single and 3 at-bats today, plus a walk. There's Eddie Miller, who's taken over in left field for Jeff Burroughs. Campbell misses outside. Frank LaCourte pitched the first 5 for Atlanta. Gene Garver worked 2. And now Dave Campbell. Campbell's come up with a new pitch in the offseason. He now throws a fork ball. Two balls and 2 strikes to Gary Thomason with Pedro Guerrero and Mickey Hatcher to follow for the Dodgers in the 8th inning. Campbell last year was 4-4 with the Braves. He was in 53 games, but his ERA was almost 5. 3-2. So after Campbell jumped ahead 0-2, it runs all the way out. Struck him out. That's the 7th Dodger to go down swinging today or to be called out on strikes. And Pedro Guerrero comes up. Guerrero came in to run for Steve Garvey in the 6th. Garvey today had 2 singles, a double, and a walk in his 4 at-bats. Guerrero hitting .278 in Florida. It's outside. Guerrero will come west with the Dodgers. To repeat, 3 of the Dodger pitchers will be left in Florida for a week. Good swing by Pete, 1-1. Terry Forster, Bobby Welch, and Rick Rhoden will not join the Dodgers until the 4th of April. Look how widespread those feet are. Guerrero just hangs a bat on his shoulder. And the pitch is outside. 2-1. Guerrero, an outstanding hitter. The last 5 years in the Dodger organization, Pete is at 300 or better. He had 337 last year at Albuquerque. 2-2. So one of the decisions the Dodgers have to make before opening day against the Padres April the 5th is, do they keep Pete Guerrero on the bench? Great young talent, but do you want him to waste his time on the bench? Outside, 3-2. Guerrero will not be 23 until June. But the Dodgers need a little right-handed pinch hitting. That one is high, ball 4, and Guerrero gets a walk. So the number 4 spot in the Dodger order today has been quite effective. 5 at-bats, 5 times on base, 4 by Garvey. Here's Mickey Hatcher. Mickey must have forgotten his uniform. He usually wears 44. Hatcher's had a good spring. Another one of the young Dodgers to watch. Takes a strike. Hatcher's hitting .308. He had a 2-run homer yesterday against the Expos at Daytona Beach. One and one to the young man from Mesa, Arizona, a non-roster player. He was not one of the 40 that the Dodgers invited to be on the varsity roster in spring training. That's high, 2-1. Hatcher is from Mesa, Arizona. At San Antonio last year, he hit .332. He then went to Albuquerque, where he hit .329. Former punter on the University of Oklahoma football team, Mickey Hatcher. Way outside, 3-1. Hatcher just celebrated his 24th birthday last week. Has always been an outfielder till this year, and they're trying him at third base. 3-1 pitch. Hit foul out of play. 3-2. Hatcher is going to be one of the leading candidates when they pass out the Mulvey Award for the top rookie at Dodgertown. One out, Guerrero at first, bottom of the 8th. Braves 9, Dodgers 7. Braves led 2-0, 2-1. Dodgers went up 3-2. Braves went back in front 6-3. It was 6-6. Then 8-6 Atlanta, 8-7, and now 9-7. The runner goes. Hatcher bounces one slowly back to Campbell. He throws out Hatcher as Guerrero takes second. 2 away. That'll bring on Vic Davalillo, who's had the best batting average of any Dodger this spring. A nifty .750. Of course, the little Venezuelan's only been up 4 times, but he had 3 hits. Yesterday was the first time this spring that anybody got Davalillo out. The Expos did. He got on the plane yesterday to come home, and somebody said, well, there goes your 1,000 average, Davalillo. A strike. We've seen 25 hits here today, 14 of those by the Braves. Fly ball to right center field. Bonnell and Matthews coming over. It's Bonnell to make the catch. No runs, no hits, one left. The Dodgers now have stranded 12. And at the end of 8, Braves 9, Dodgers 7.
Will the father of Sean Crow please report to the press box? The father of
Hey, wish you owned a truck full of gas? Well, now you can own a car full of gas mileage. The incredible Datsun 210 hatchback, our highest gas mileage car, #1. So why pour your money down the tank? Buy a Datsun.
Put your money in the bank, not in the tank. Buy a Datsun.
To save you money.
Whoa! Palm Springs. You know, in the movie Road to Utopia, I discovered a ton of gold, and all I have to show for it today is 2 gold inlays. Now I'm a little older and a lot wiser.
Hi, Mr. Hope.
Oh, hi, Miss Webb. That's why my money's in California Federal Savings. I know it's in a safe place, and it'll be there when I need it. They want you to get the most for your money. I gotta go. I want to find my ball before it gets dark. Hey, ball.
California Federal Savings.
Here's Danny Goodman's first souvenir offer of the season. A Dodger license plate, a Dodger keychain, a Dodger pin, and 25x7 player photos. All 4 items for only $2. Send to Danny Goodman, Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, 90012. One of the golf courses here at Dodger Town. Getting a little water this afternoon. We go to the 9th inning. The Dodgers have a new pitcher, Mike Williams, in his second start or second outing of the spring for the Dodger varsity. Williams worked 1 inning here Monday against the Baltimore Orioles and got 3 of the 4 men to face him. Dale Murphy greets him with a fly ball to center, and the wind really took that one. Thomason was going to take it, but the wind blows it to the right fielder, and Bon Joshua comes over to one-hand it. One out. And Barry Bonnell comes up. Bonnell has 3 hits and 4 at-bats, 2 singles and a double, and he has 1 run batted in. Let's tell you something about Mike Williams. He's from Lake Jackson, Texas. He was at San Antonio last year, where he was 9-6. First pitch misses. Jackson, another one of the non-roster players this spring. That was fouled out of play. 1-1. Williams is 24. He was a relief pitcher at San Antonio last year, was in 54 games. Misses high, 2-1. Had a good ERA of 2.9. Ripped to center field. Short hop by Gary Thomason. The Braves have their 15th hit, and Barry Bonnell has 4 of them. So Bonnell, locked in a struggle with Roland Office, both fighting for that center field slot, has a good day here at Vero Beach.
Third baseman Mike Maha.
Mike Maha has a double and 4 at-bats. So it's Texan against Texan. Williams against Maha. That misses, ball 2. Maha is from Victoria, Texas. Williams, born in Houston, now lives in Lake Jackson, Texas. Two-0 pitch. Grounded to short. Martinez goes to second for one, back to first. Gary Weiss turned the double play nicely at second base for the Dodgers. No runs, one hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Braves 9, Dodgers 7.
Hi, Billy. All locked up?
You know, it must be nice having your own Union 76 station.
You don't mind long hours and late dinners now and then.
Yeah, but at least you're your own boss.
Well, actually, the customer's my boss. If you really want to know what it's like, stick around and help me tune up Mr. Young's car.
Oh, sure, Murph.
I'm only kidding, my boy. Go on home. You'll have enough late nights when you have your own station.
Night, Murph.
The spirit of 76.
Fresh pork, sometimes called the king of meats, no doubt because it treats appetite so royally. But there's fresh pork, then there's so-called fresh pork, which is not the same, not at all. And the difference is in the flavor. So for your fullest enjoyment of fresh pork, please keep in mind that the only eastern corn-fed pork in the Southland that's strictly fresh and at peak of flavor is from Farmer John.
We go to the bottom of the ninth inning at Holman Stadium in Vero Beach. The Braves leading the Dodgers 9-7. Ah, there's our friend from Dodger Stadium. The man in the leopard skin leading the Dodger charge. Opening day is not far away.
Right fielder, number 14, Von Joshua.
The Dodgers have been retired in order only once today. That was in the 7th inning. Von Joshua will lead it off. You're watching Dodger baseball on KTTV, Channel 11 in Los Angeles. Joshua singled in a run off Gene Garber in the 6th inning. That cut the Atlanta lead to 8-7. The Braves got another run in the 7th. That's a strike. Dave Campbell trying to wrap it up for the Braves, who are seeking their 11th victory in 17 tries this spring. Joshua, Ferguson, and Weiss due up for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 9th inning. That's low, 2-1. Dave Campbell was in more games for the Braves last year than any pitcher, 53. Bounce foul. 2-2 to Joshua. Preston Gomez coaching at third. Jim Lefevre over at first. High hopper to the right side. Glenn Hubbard has to go up and bobble, come down, and have no play. So that's one of those times where Hubbard probably wishes he was taller than 5'9". Ferguson has walked twice, 0 for 2. They're going to give Joshua a base hit, I believe, which is rather odd scoring. There's one inside. Nine to 7 Atlanta. Nobody out in the 9th inning. That's a strike. Line to right field. It's a fair ball. Matthews over to get it. Joshua coming to the plate. Ferguson goes to third. Now let's see if they're going to rule it as a ground rule double. Did somebody touch the ball down in the corner? Yep, they're going to wave Ferguson back to second and Joshua to third. So Ferguson went with Chopper Campbell's pitch and stroked it down the right field line. And now the Dodgers have the tying run in scoring position with nobody out in the ninth inning. The hitter will be Gary Weiss.
Now batting for the Dodgers, number 78, Gary Weiss.
Weiss was not even a non-roster player this spring, so he's a non-roster player. And here he is in the ninth inning trying to get the Dodgers even. No swing, says the third base umpire upon appeal. Weiss last year was at Clinton, where he hit .281 in 68 games. Nobody out. Joshua at third, Ferguson at second. 9-7 Braves in the bottom of the ninth inning. Low, ball 2. Each club has used 3 pitchers. Hooten, Huff, and Williams for the Dodgers. LaCourte, Garber, and now Campbell for Atlanta. 2-0 pitch to Gary Weiss. Bounce foul. Joshua opened the inning with a high hopper to second. Hubbard couldn't field it. And the score, with some charitable scoring, gave Joshua a single. Ferguson then ripped the double down the right field line. It was touched by a fan, so the Dodgers wind up with runners at second and third. 2-1 to Gary Weiss. The Braves with the infield back. They're still 2 runs ahead. Campbell, bothered by Joshua coming down the line, stepped off for a moment. Teddy Martinez is on deck. 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Weiss missing. Johnny Oates tying his shoelace behind Martinez. He figures to be a pinch hitter. 2-2 to Gary Weiss. Foul tipped. Weiss is 1 for 4 in spring training games for the Dodgers. This is only the third game in which he's appeared this spring. Joshua running at third, Ferguson at second. Nobody out, ninth inning, 9-7 Braves. Fouled out of play. The Dodgers have not won since Wednesday. They beat the Mets at St. Petersburg with the regulars. Half of the regulars played Thursday, and the Braves beat the Dodgers 5-4 in West Palm Beach. The Dodgers were rained out Friday against the Reds in Tampa, and half of the regulars played yesterday at Daytona, and they lost to Montreal. Weiss pops it up, and that'll carry back to the stands. So Gary Weiss waging an individual duel with Dave Campbell here in the bottom of the ninth inning. 9 runs, 15 hits, 2 errors for the Braves. 7 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors for the Dodgers. 2-2. Grounded over first, down the line, base hit. 1 run is in. Ferguson coming to the plate. Weiss going to second. The throw, he's in there, and it's 9-9 as the kid comes through. He may remember this the rest of his life. He may be at Clinton, Iowa again this summer. But on one Sunday afternoon in late March at Vero Beach, Gary Weiss will recall that he was able to slap one down the right field line for a double to drive in 2. And the Dodgers have caught the Braves, and now young Mr. Weiss is the winning run with nobody out in the bottom of the ninth inning. That's one of the beauties of baseball. An unknown gets his moment in the sun. Teddy Martinez takes low. I mean, you got to go to the fine print to even find Gary Weiss's name in the Dodger press guide. He is buried. But he got a big hit this afternoon. Good bunt by Martinez. Lum had a notion to go after Weiss, but he thought better of it, and the sacrifice works for Teddy Martinez. And now the winning run is 90 feet away, and here's Johnny Oates. Johnny Oates is hitting 400 in Florida. 4 for 10. The Braves have to bring the infield in. The high bouncer, which Glenn Hubbard could not handle, began the inning. Joshua was aboard. They gave him an infield single. Ferguson doubled down the line and right, and Weiss doubled down the line. One out, here's Oates, and he takes high. You know Johnny Oates loves to drag bunt, but the Braves have the infield in. So would he chance it here in the bottom of the 9th inning in a 9-9 tie? Weiss a very short lead away from third. Mike Maha is keeping him pretty well anchored to the bag. Gerald Hannes is throwing in the Dodger bullpen in case we have a 10th inning. The Dodgers trying to end it right here. Johnny Oates wants to talk to Preston Gomez. Johnny Oates used to play for Atlanta. So Preston has held a chat with Johnny. Oates was with the Braves in 73, 74, and 75. Campbell out of a stretch. Popped up. That's not going to get the job done. Royster on the mound makes the catch. 2 away. So it's up to Gary Thomason if the Dodgers are to win in regulation time. Gary Weiss still running at third.
Number 9, Gary Thomason.
Thomason today has walked, struck out, singled in a run in the 4th, grounded out the 2nd, and struck out again, swinging in the 8th. Thomason's had 11 hits this spring. 2 runs batted in before today. A drive to left field and well hit. Miller going back. The wind holds it up, and Miller makes the catch, and we're going to go extra innings. So the Dodgers got the fly ball, 1 batter too late. Gary Weiss, though, was a hero. He got the 2-run double to get the Dodgers even. 3 hits in the inning, 1 left. Tommy Lasorda shakes Gary Weiss's hand. And at the end of 9, it's the Dodgers 9 and the Braves 9.
Introducing the new front-wheel drive Datsun 310, the Ego Trip. An economy car that pampers you with rich velour seats, distinctive striping, remote control windows, astounding gas mileage, and front-wheel drive. The new Datsun 310. At last, an economy car that makes every drive an ego trip. To build the best front-wheel drive.
When you say Budweiser, when you say Bud, you said a lot of things nobody else can say. Say you carry not to only one, the king of beers. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Now pitching for the Dodgers.
For the first time this spring, the Dodgers will go extra innings today. Tommy Lasorda, seated at the bench, now decides to stretch a bit. Gerald Hannes is the new Dodger pitcher. following Bert Hooton, Charlie Huff, and Mike Williams. Hanna's trying to win a spot on the Dodger pitching staff. Is making his 5th appearance of the exhibition season. He has no record, an ERA of 3.86. So the Dodgers in their 15th game are going to play a little extra. Darrell Cheney is going to come up and hit for Dave Campbell. And then it'll be Jerry Royster and Glenn Hubbard in the 10th inning for the Braves.
Hitting for the Braves, number 15, Darrell Cheney.
Darrell Cheney, switch hitter. Darrell had a birthday the other day. He's 31 years old. Takes a strike. Cheney hitting .278 in spring training. Good fastball from Hannes. 0-2. A 9-9 tie. 29 hits in this game. 15 of those by the Braves. High hopper up the middle. Martinez behind the bag. Gets him. That'll bring up Jerry Royster for the 6th time. Royster singled in the first inning. 1 for 5, but his last time up, when he grounded out in the 7th inning, he got home a run. Dodgers have led only once today. That was 3-2 in the 2nd inning. But here they are in the 10th. Knotted 9-9. Gerald Hannes, 27 years old. Came over from the Montreal organization in the Mike Garman trade. That was popped up foul, and Guerrero may have a play. The wind taking it away from him, and Pete can't get there. One ball, one strike to Jerry Royster. 1 out, bases empty, 10th inning. Hannes and Larry Landreth came over from Montreal in exchange for Mike Garman last May. We noticed yesterday when we were in Daytona Beach that the Expos have re-signed Larry Landreth. So the Dodgers cut him loose. Royster runs up the bunt. It's ball 2. Hannes spent the first month of last year with Memphis, Montreal's AA club in the Southern League. And then when the Dodgers got him, they assigned him immediately to San Antonio last year. Royster again shut off the bunt. Takes ball 3, 3-1. At San Antonio, Hannes was 9-5 with a 2.57 ERA last summer. 3-1 to Royster. Funny swing, but he got the job done. Down the line for a base hit, Davila over to get it. By that time, Royster's chugging into second with a double. The 16th hit for Atlanta. Throw gets away, but the Dodgers back it up. It looked like Royster was trying to check his swing. Oops. But he had it in the right spot.
Number 17, Glenn Hubbard.
And there's the tie-breaking run at second with 1 out in the 10th inning. That is the 4th double by the Braves. Glenn Hubbard got one of those doubles in the 3rd inning. It's his only hit in 5 at-bats today. That one almost hit him. Hannes has spent parts of 3 seasons in the major leagues, the last 3 years. First 2 times with the Expos, and then last year the Dodgers brought him up in September, and he got into 1 game, and he worked 2 innings against San Diego. Allowed 2 runs. Foul tipped, 1-1. But in that game against the Padres, Hannes struck out 4 of the last 6 men to face him. He is known as a strikeout pitcher. Out of the University of Arkansas, Gerald Hannes. A 9-9 tie, 10th inning. 1 out, Royster at second for the Braves. 1-2. Hannes was the first 20-game winner in the Montreal organization at any level in history when he won 20 with Quebec in the AA Eastern League in 1976. 6'3", 200-pounder. Throws hard. Hubbard waits. And Royster bothering Hannes. The wind's got to be bothering him, too, because it is really gusting here at Vero Beach. 20, 25-mile-per-hour wind. Look at that fly go. Hannes is ready. 1-2 pitch. Misses outside. 2-2. On deck is Gary Matthews. So the Dodgers got even in the bottom of the ninth when unknown Gary Weiss doubled in 2, and he was out at second with a winning run. Nobody out, and the Dodgers couldn't get him home. That was hammered deep to left, but the wind helps the Dodgers this time. Davalillo coming on and one-hands it. 2 out. This is reminiscent of Candlestick Park playing in this kind of weather. You just don't know where that ball's going to wind up. But Davalillo, who has been around and played in almost any kind of climate, makes the second out of the inning for the Dodgers. Gary Matthews has 2 singles and 5 at-bats. Eddie Miller's due up next, so I think they're going to pitch around Matthews. They may walk Matthews. Ferguson indicates that. An intentional walk coming to Gary Matthews. So it may be springtime, and it may be an exhibition with no real meaning to the outcome. But Joe Ferguson and the Dodgers are going to get in the proper frame of mind as to what they should do in these kind of pressure situations when it really counts. Jeff Burroughs, remember, came out of the game, and Eddie Miller took over for him. So there is ball 4 to Matthews, and here comes Miller. Eddie Miller is from Richmond, California. He was at Richmond last year where he hit 249. So the man from Richmond played at Richmond. One of the fastest men in the Atlanta organization, a great base stealer. And he comes on, 2 on, 2 out, 10th inning, a 9-9 tie. Fouled the bat, or lost the bat, fouled it back, and Eddie will have to go and get it. In the spring, Miller's hitting 200. He's only been up 5 times for the Braves. His hit was a double. Good stop by Ferguson. 1-1. A 30-hit game. Jerry Royster got the 30th hit, and the Braves 16th when he doubled here with 1 out in the 10th. Now with 2 out, Gary Matthews is intentionally walked. Timeout. Something blows on the field behind the mound. Umpire just signaling to the sack to please remove itself. Plate umpire Jim Thompson looks on. The pitch. High fly ball to left field. The wind carries this to foul territory. Hatcher coming over, and Mickey makes the play for the final out. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. At the end of 9.5, it is still 9-9.
1 save, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left.
How many of you baseball fans remember 1959? It was a great year for the Dodgers. They went all the way to the World Series and won it in 6 games.
59 was also the first year that Union 76 became one of the Dodgers sponsors.
And they've been helping to bring you the games ever since.
So again this year, the people at Union 76 invite you to get behind the Dodgers.
Come on out to Dodger Stadium, and don't forget, there's a Union 76 station right behind center field.
Stop in and tell them to fill her up with spirit. The spirit of 76.
Among the 19 billion hot dogs devoured each year by hot dog-hankering Americans, some, a very special some, are from Farmer John. And most unusual these are. Unusually firm and meaty in texture, juicy tender, yet not soft and mushy. Unusual in good taste, too, with a smoke-savory Western flavor and a naturally seasoned spiciness. Farmer John, beef franks, extra longs, and wieners. Unusual indeed, and in deliciously unusual ways.
We're going to the bottom half of the 10th inning at Holman Stadium in Vero Beach. The Dodgers 9 and the Braves 9, and Buzz Capra,
Now playing right field for the Braves.
trying to win a spot on the Atlanta staff, comes on to pitch. Darrell Cheney takes over at shortstop for the Braves after hitting in the bottom half or the top half of the inning. Charlie Spikes, former American leaguer, is in right field. Buzz Capra has had arm problems the last couple of years. Pete Guerrero leads off for the Dodgers in the 10th and takes inside. Guerrero walked in his only other at-bat in the 8th inning. This is the second time the Dodgers have seen Capra in the last couple of days. Guerrero loops one to right. Charlie Spikes is not going to get there. It's a base hit. So Garvey and Guerrero, between them, have been on base 6 straight times as the cleanup hitters of the Dodgers today. And the Dodgers had the winning run out there, nobody out. And here's Mickey Hatcher. For the Dodgers, their 15th hit. The Braves have 16. Hatcher bounced out his other time up today in the 8th inning after taking over from Ron Say at third. Maha creeping in from third looking for a possible bunt. Lum holding Guerrero on, and Capra goes over there. Buzz Capra did not pitch last year, trying to fight his way back. Cheney calling the signals from shortstop. Hatcher's bunt is in the air, and Murphy won't get there. The ball lands near the backstop. Dale Murphy is catching again, and he may stay there until June. That's when they estimate Biff Pocoroba will be back after that major shoulder surgery. Dale was saying that he went to BYU during the off season, enrolled in some freshman classes out at Provo. Lum is charging too. Hatcher's taking it, and it cost him 0-2. So Lum looked like he was running the 100-yard dash. He left Guerrero in a hurry and just came barreling down to the plate. 0-2 to Hatcher. Let's see if the bunt is still in order. And he's swinging away, and he strikes out. One away in the 10th, and here's Davalillo. Davalillo sent a fly ball to right field when he came up in the 8th inning. Dodgers 9, Braves 9, bottom of the 10th. This game about 3 hours old. Davalillo takes high. Dodgers have led just once. They've been behind by as many as 3. But they caught up on a 2-run double in the 9th by Gary Weiss. Guerrero goes, and Davalillo pokes it on the left field line. Miller's not going to get there. Holding at second, though, is Guerrero, as Davalillo comes up with the Dodgers' 16th hit. There's the experience that a Davalillo carries. He just went with the pitch with the runner going. That ball's out of the strike zone. And look how off balance Vic was when he punched it.
Right fielder, number 14, Von.
An artist with the bat. So 2 hits off Capra here in the 10th. And Von Joshua will try to end it for the Dodgers. Breaking ball misses. Joshua has 2 singles and 5 at-bats. He has an RBI. He got the 9th inning rally started with his little infield hopper to Hubbard, which went for an infield single. That's foul. Pass first. 1-1. Almost identical totals now. 9 runs, 16 hits, 3 errors for the Dodgers. 9 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors for the Braves. Guerrero and Davalillo on the base paths. The pitch to Joshua. Outside, 2-1. The Braves have used 4 pitchers, so have the Dodgers. No home runs today, no triples, but 32 hits in all. Line drive, base hit. That might be it. Here comes Guerrero. Bonnell's throwing to the plate. It is too late, and the Dodgers win 10-9. So the Dodgers come from behind. Gary Weiss ties it with a 2-run double in the 9th, and this man, Von Joshua, wins it with a 10th inning single. The Dodgers wind up with 17 hits for the afternoon. They're the 2 heroes, Weiss and Joshua, congratulating one another. Gerald Hannes is the winner. Buzz Capra is the loser. The Dodgers run their record in Florida to 10-5. The Braves are now 10-7. Charlie Huff, who was seen there with Joshua for a moment, will be our guest on the post-game show in just a few moments. So the Dodgers snapped their 2-game losing string, and with a large crowd of over 6,400 in the stadium looking on, outlast the Braves in one that lasted just about 3 hours this afternoon. A lot of excitement. Hope you enjoyed it. The Dodgers finally win one for you on Sunday here on Channel 11, beating the Atlanta Braves in 10 innings by a score of 10-9. Now this is Ross Porter speaking for Jerry Doggett and Vin Scully. Stay tuned for the postgame show coming right up.
Dodger baseball.